Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. How y'all doing? I'm sorry, like a little minute late. Oops. Hi, everybody. Hi, POTV, because I keep saying that wrong. Hi, Big Chap. Hi, Virginia Bushcrafter, Big Easy. How you doing? How's everybody? Oh, I'm missing. Hi, Random. How are you? Good to see you. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you can hear me. Great. Okay. What you guys been up to? What you been prepping? What you been doing? How's everything? Man, it's been a crazy week. I was waiting for a few more people to come in. Hi, Nola. How are you? Good to see you, Phil. I was just waiting for a few people to come in so I can say thank you. Thank y'all so much for all the love, all the support. Hi, Mac. How are you? Good to see you. How's everything? Hi, Calvin Carbine. How are you? Hi, everybody. Hi. Hi, Prepper 101. Good to see you. So much love. Thank you. Let's see. I think I got everybody. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday, a great week. I hope you had a great week. Hi, Renaissance Grandma. How are you? Good to see you. Can you guys give me 1 second, please? Sorry about that. My dog is being a pain in the neck right now. Hi, Joshua. How are you? I am. I'm having a great day. Anytime I get to spend with you guys, I have a amazing time. I learn so much. I have me some laughs. Hopefully you guys do too. Oh man. I hope I know it's nice outside today over here in PA. I hope it is out there with you. I know they're supposed to say we have some funky weather coming through for the week. What was that guy's name? I forgot his name. He does weather forecasting on YouTube. And they said he's pretty accurate. Hi, Carrot Top. How you doing? Good to see you. So I had an amazing week. A lot of big hi Bougie Prepper. How are you? Guys, if you're not following Bougie Prepper, she has a great challenge going on, fitness challenge, planks. It's for 30 days. Jump in and get in there. I was thinking about it today. I saw Starduster too do her. She was so funny when she did hers. She did it late at night, but I respect the hustle. She was so tired, but she got it done. So check out Bougie Prepper. I'm gonna drop your link in a second. Just give me 1 minute. Hi Denise, how are you? Hi Bonnie. Hi Ace from BK. Hi Heather. Hi everybody. And I think Sophia B does a canning if anybody's interested in canning, but I'm not sure if she's doing it this week because she has some stuff going on moving wise. But check out her channel, Sophia B. Wow, Williams, how are you, Will? What's going on? Hi, Gail. How are you? I hope the weather doesn't interfere with my turkey hunt tomorrow. Oh, you're hunting turkeys tomorrow, are you? I really enjoyed your channel, Virginia Bushcraft. You have a lot of really good information and you break it down for people that's probably starting to prep or getting into bushcraft as far as the tools you need and setting up camp. Hi, Mama Red. How you doing? Denise Gonzalez, how are you? True Goals. Hi, love. How are you? TK, what's up, Queen? How you feel? There's a couple people I'm going to be putting on this week. And if you can, you could do the same thing just to show love and support throughout the community, homesteading, prepping, and 2A. Hi, Swan. How are you? Good to see you. Get to see all these new faces. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. I appreciate y'all. Yep. So my co-host has a little bit of emergency, and he's gonna be running late, but that's okay. We're still gonna wing it. So my topic is: are you an asset or a liability when shit hits the fan? I was just kind of like sitting back and thinking after talking to Angry Prepper this week. I had a conversation with him on his channel, and it was beginning prepping. We touched on the subject, and I kind of thought about it like when I first started prepping prior to that, I was like, damn, if shit hit the fan back then, boy, I would not be any good to anybody. So I just thought that's a good gateway to start for all those who are starting prepping, or even just in the beginning type stages and trying to figure out what you're gonna need. And it's just not your gear; it's actually you as an individual. That's kind of my topic of the day. What is it that you need to work on within yourself, or what might be some of your weaknesses that you might need to strengthen, or you can fix if you can fix at this point in time? So, mine would be I cannot see without my glasses. So if in a shit situation and I lose my glasses, boy, good luck. Everybody getting shot. Just kidding. No, just kidding. But that would be something that I need to fix. That would make me a liability. But hi, Joe Morgan. How are you? Hi, Ayaz love. How are you? Shalom, shalom. um, that would be something that I need to fix. So I did look into LASIX a long time ago. Hi, Tiger. How are you? But man, when I Googled that whole operation and you have to stay up while they slice your eye with a laser, yeah, that wasn't working for me. So, hi, fat guy with guns. How you doing, Zach? How's everything? That was my issue with LASIX, but I think at this point I'm just gonna hi OG $2. We're talking about Zach. I don't think I can hear you.
You hear me now?
Yep, loud and clear. 5 by 5. Um, that was my issue. We were talking about being an ass. Are you or liability? My liability, my shortcoming would be my eyesight. If I lost my glasses. Hi, Ghetto. How you doing? Where's Miss Ghetto? How she's doing?
What up, Ghetto? What up, Ghost? What's up, everybody?
Yep. So I'm looking into LASIX, and I'm actually going to go ahead and proceed with that. So I
Mm.
can see, and that won't be an issue for me if my head has to be on swivel if shit hits the fan. So I don't know.
Shoot, my eyesight ain't the greatest either. I can use
Yeah,
some. I ain't no LASIK though. I don't.
I need LASIX. You can be like,
I,
hi,
I,
Tabby.
I can see good enough, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man, if
Right.
those contacts or those glasses break or fall out, whatever, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Wait a minute, my sights might help though, or my optics.
Oh, yeah, that'll help you definitely. Yo,
Zero red.
definitely help.
Right, well, Williams, I don't want to shoot my own people. That'll be crazy. But that's something that I actually sat down and thought about. So I don't know if you guys have sat down and just thought about if it did hit the fan, would you be an asset or would you be a liability to a mag or just to any group that you might belong to?
I mean, I think one of the things in that situation is knowing, I guess, what strengths everybody has, because
Right.
nobody has one strength. So you I guess combined, it'll be
Mhm.
everybody is a bit of an asset and everybody is a bit of a liability depending on what it is. There's no one person is just I'm just all asset. So I mean, it just depends.
Okay. That's good. Joe Morgan said, "Hi, Mr. Morgan. How you doing? I can see just fine, but my hearing is terrible, and a ruptured eardrum years ago. Wow.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, what up, Prepper 101?
Do for that though? They
Ghetto,
have.
what up, ghetto?
Who?
No, I was saying hi to everybody.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Gorilla Nation.
What up,
I,
Gorilla?
um,
What up,
hi,
Hot Dog?
Zach. How you doing? And it's just not only you as an individual; it can be in your preps. Like a lot of people are when they get into prepping, they're like, what should I do first? And
Just do something.
how are you? Yeah.
Hey, what up? My family. Who that?
Good.
Who that
Okay.
back there, Billy?
Star, you know, it's good.
Yeah, what up, Starduster?
Hey, Stardust, how are you, love?
Oh, y'all on the range.
Yeah, they're at the range. Hi, Black Point Dexter, how you doing?
What up, BP?
Let's see. I'm just gonna drop the link for BP real quick. Hold on.
that window. Hold on.
And just in your preps when you're starting out, get water, anything. Who is it? Homestead Heart. I just saw a video that she did, and she did a medical, just some first aid medical stuff that you would need as far as medication.
Mm,
Something that she said that I agree with wholeheartedly, which was you can start prepping at any time. Something is better than nothing.
facts.
Start someplace. So if you haven't started,
I
if you
think
have, yeah, start with something.
that it always boils down to that basic question of, like people always ask, what should I do first? I mean, if you just start out with the basics, like you said, get you some water, get you some medical stuff, and get you some canned goods or something. Just start out small. That's all you can do.
You know, it's funny. I had gave somebody some advice recently. BP, what's up? I had gave somebody some advice recently, and I said the first cheapest part of prepping is not going out to get something. It's getting your mind right.
Exactly.
It's understanding what you already have and how you can utilize that to prepare yourself.
Agreed.
And then you go out there and spend the money.
Right. Then you start spending money.
Yeah. So Tapper said, somebody told me that prepping is the new word for hoarding. I said, well, don't come to me when shit hits the fan. That I agree with Tapper, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm a bit of a hoarder anyway. I just get it natural. I think it's like a family trait. I'll just be honest. I get it natural. And in terms of prepping, I guess it's a thin line, but I believe get what you need, but also get what you don't need, because you never really know what it is you're gonna need. Just get what stuff. I've been in different situations where I look for something and I didn't have it. And I'm like, man, if I had kept whatever, like my wife would be like, you should have got rid of that. And then stuff I won't get rid of, and then I need it, and then I had it, I got rid of it. Now that I need it, I'm stuck. So I mean, get what you can, keep yourself comfortable. My big thing with my wife is the accumulation of things that make her uncomfortable a little bit. So I try to get them and put them around and keep them away as much as I can. But my thing is, listen, if we need this stuff and we don't have it, we'll be in a bad way. So you do what you can. I mean, you get what you can. I mean, there's hoarding is different. If I have 1,000 rolls of toilet paper and they actually have paper on them, but I just have 1,000 rolls with no paper on them, then I'm hoarding.
Yeah.
That's the difference. This is the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. So my thing, hi BP, how are you?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing? Sorry for being late. I
No,
thought it was
okay.
3:30, and then my links weren't working. I was sending a link to
Jason?
myself, and it wasn't working. So,
No,
how's everybody doing today?
I'm
Good,
good.
man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I was messing with my since I never win anything, I was looking at that 300 blackout. So I was
You never
that.
win anything, huh? Yeah.
Guys, this has got to be one of the luckiest men.
It is the luckiest man.
Just like go like this and get some of that luck with everything. Everything.
I'm gonna need you to send me an old pair of socks or something that you don't need no more. Something, boy.
I will do that. I will do that. I got tons of those. We were talking about prepping, and some of that thing is, not relying on being lucky, because we don't want to be out there kind of relying on that and say, well, I hope this happens, I hope that happens. So I think I like what Zach said about having that mindset in advance. And when you start prepping, I think a lot of it is those mental exercises, that mental fortitude that you build up to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do whatever it takes, no matter what, to be prepared. And I think, we as a community, a lot of us have grown up in situations where we've had that. Our ancestors, our family members kind of prepped. It wasn't called prepping back then, but they had canned food. They had their deep freezers. They had their gardens. They had all that stuff that now is kind of, Gucci kind of stuff, or chic, or kind of everybody wanting to do it. But we've always had to do that. So getting to those mindsets and continuing them and encouraging those. So I think that those mental exercises and preparing before you actually go out and buy stuff, like you said, Billy, you don't want, that's inefficient, because you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. So
a lot of mistakes. Oftentimes you'll purchase so many items that you don't realize there might not be a need for that item within the type of bug in, bug out simple survival stuff. I got a few things where I'm like, why did I think this was going to be a good idea? And I've done blown $100, $200, just on things that I try to make sense of. And when you sit back and realize that you can't take it all with you if you got to leave, and sitting in the house, you might not need it because you're still in the house. Like, why did you buy something? So yeah, I go through that often. Often.
And I'm not independently wealthy. I don't know about y'all. I think Zach, maybe you may be, but I'm not independently wealthy. So those dollars count. I can't go out and buy all the candy out there like Zach does.
Like inflation has people in a chokehold right about now between utilities going up, rent, all of that stuff. People that probably were on a small budget are feeling it. People with any budget right now is feeling it.
It's very.
I'm doing good,
really,
and it's getting.
ridiculous.
I feel it.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do. We do well. We're not rich, but we're not starving. And when I go and stuff is like sticker shock to me, people say things. I'm like, what? What'd you say? How much? And normally you don't bat an eye. You're like, okay, but it's like it's ridiculous when they say it to you. Like, how much is that? Me and Lil Zach went to Burger King and it was like almost $30
for two or three meals, or 2 meals and extra.
This is crazy. So it just is. It's ridiculous. It has me not wanting to go get any fast food or anything anymore. Just make everything at home.
Yeah. And the crazy part is it gets so ridiculous that you start appreciating that little drop. Yeah. I rolled past the gas. I said to my wife, I said, look, $3.65. I said, that's all right.
Right.
No, it ain't.
It's not.
No, it ain't. But compared to last week, I'm like, yo, that's the.
Yeah, it's crazy. I got my electric bill. I was like, nobody turn on a light for the next 2 to 3 days. It went from, okay, I expect this to like, who did I have a party and I didn't know about this? And we just left it on.
That's exactly how it feels. I'm like, listen, don't turn it got a little bit cold again. I'm like, nah, I don't want to turn the heat back on. I don't want to. Nah, it costs too much. Put a hat on. Put on a sweater.
So we're talking all about this because I want people who are starting to prep or take it seriously and getting their stuff to realize that it doesn't matter if you can't get all the stuff that you see other people have. Just have some stuff, because if you have something, I think bartering and working with your neighbors or people that you know is going to come into play very soon. Like, I don't have if people have gardens where they're growing fruit, you're going to see people saying like, listen, I know how to fix a stove or chop wood, but I just need some cabbage or whatever they have. Hi, everybody coming in. I'm sorry if I missed you. How's the seed? Hi, everybody doing? So as long as you prep water, some food, some medication, bandages, things that you can put into your budget or squeeze into your budget at this point in time, get it. Hi, Rich Homie Ghost. How you doing? Sunset, Nate Denver. How you doing? DT Grows. How are you? Just get something. Get it so you have something to bring to the table. Don't try to keep up with anybody. Work within your budget, because the way prices are, like nobody knows what. I'm about to tell Uber, get off my app right now because they're ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Cut it out, Riley. They're ridiculous. And I'm looking at my budget and I'm actually going through it and doing away with a lot of things that I don't really need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I hope a lot of other people are doing that too. Start Riley.
I'm definitely doing cut cable, did all that stuff, all that unnecessary stuff that I don't use or watch. Subscriptions I have out there, trying to save those dollars and line them up. One of the things you mentioned was the bartering thing. I have a friend, coworker from Mexico. This guy is brilliant guy. Grew up in a village of like 500 people, less than 500 people. But his grandfather was a blacksmith, and so he grew up learning how to blacksmith. So we always talk about different things and of that nature. So he's never shot a firearm. So he's been like talk with me and this, that, and the other. So we've been out to the range a couple of times, this, that, and the other. And he's getting ready to build a blacksmith shop on some land that he has out there. So I told him to teach me, how to do some of that stuff, how to, get some of those skills, this, that, and the other. So those are kind of things we need to kind of skills that we can bring so that we're an asset, like we're talking about. We're an asset that can contribute something. So, and bartering is part of that. Hey, I'll help you with this, you help me with that. So that's key.
Definitely. Who that fine looking little thing down there? What up?
Oh, hey, man. Oh, you're not talking about
Not
me.
your
My
hard
bad.
ass,
I
ghetto.
thought you were talking about me. I'm down there.
Hi, Ghetto. Everybody, this is
Yo,
Bougie
I got
Prepper.
What's up, ladies, gentlemen?
I got beef with Ghetto, and I got beef with Prepper 101. Yo,
Uh-oh.
Prepper 101 called me Billy Ocean. Yo, Ghetto and Prepper 101 was going in so hard on me yesterday. I started really, I was like a little watery in my eye. Man, y'all begin messing with me like that. Damn.
That's funny. That's
Man, oh man.
Billy the
Hi,
Ball.
TLC.
Hi,
Go
Lola.
ahead. Heavy D.
My bad for the camera barbecue. I'm putting makeup on and getting my curlers
No
out. So
Yeah.
I'll be on in a second.
That's
I
funny.
love
I
the
had to
conversation
jump
though.
up here. I don't get to talk too much with other preppers. So I said I had to get in on this.
Absolutely.
Yo, you got yourself a good mix right now. This is a good mix.
Thank you for
Yeah.
evening it up, all these men.
Yeah, that was another reason too.
There you go.
Everybody, if you don't know who this is the Bougie Prepper. The lady that I was telling you about that was doing the 30-day plank challenge.
AKA the Plank Master.
I wish. The
That's
other
funny.
day, that
Yeah,
35 seconds almost took me and my daughter out.
Oh no, it's no joke. I was like, I gotta wait. I gotta wait on that.
Gotta
Yeah.
do it though.
So listen,
Hey,
go ahead.
oh, my bad. I just wanted to get her link in the chat so we can go over there and get her on the channel.
Yep.
My bad, Billy. Go ahead.
Let me
You
find
Give me 1 second. Let me take care of that. Okay. Y'all hold it down.
So
Mhm.
your fingernails look nice, Carbon. So either way, I'm glad I got a well versed panel and everybody in the chat. A couple days ago, Carbon and I had talked about some kind of realities of prepping, of bugging in, bugging out, reestablishing, creating a secondary, a fort, or that kind of location point where you have to start rebuilding. And we talked about assets and liabilities, and a lot of people don't realize the type of liability that really makes a difference. The type of I don't want to say flaws. A lot of them are not fixable. Some of them are, but I had to realize within myself, and I'm going to ask everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat, if you got a second to go ahead and type this response, I guess, is when you consider yourself an asset, name 3 things that make you an asset, and give one thing that makes you a liability. So you're going to have to really dig deep in yourself and be true and honest. And I'm talking about to a point where if you come up on a small village that's being rebuilt and you're trying to get yourself in there for safety and numbers, what can you bring? 3 things that they might say yes to, and then one thing that might completely ask them, have you to leave. So I'm going to go first, and this is a full-on honesty thing. 3 assets. I'm well-versed in firearms. I'm strong physically, and I'm very good at engineering, repairing, mechanical systems. Those are decent assets for any new starting town or village. But the one thing that is a liability on my side is my back is bad. I could pick up a small child and be out of commission for a week. And that's just something I sat there and said, what is bad about me? It's not that, I'm a slow runner or my feet smell bad. Full on honesty, my back is super sensitive, and it can put me out of any asset side of my job title for a week, 2 at the most. So be honest with yourselves. What can you bring to the table? 3 things. And then what's that one thing that you might have been born with it, You might can change it, but it's definitely something that somebody would say, hey, I don't think you're going to help us out. BP, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
Wait, how you said
On the spot.
3 assets.
Carbon, you still there? Or yeah.
I think she's working.
All right, BP, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm still here, but give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, that's been.
Hey, gang, what's going on?
What's
What
up?
up,
What's
BP?
up? What's up, man?
HP.
So
Hey.
one of the
What's up?
first things I know, medical
Hey,
knowledge. I have extensive medical knowledge, education, training. I can teach others, survival training on the medical side, from respiratory care to nursing to, EMT. I have a lot of medical training, so I think that's definitely a pro. Also, military. I was in the military, so some military tactics, education, training, mindset, be able to evaluate things quickly and work in a group as well. That's one of the things the military teaches you, to work in a group and get things done. So I think that's definitely a pro. Also, extensive martial arts training from the time I was 12 years old. We have several black belts, which really don't mean anything, but able to take different forms of martial arts and teach and educate people on those and practice those and use those to help me in my disciplines, health and being in shape. Even though one of the things that may be a detriment, people may look at as my age. I'm getting ready to be 62 years old. So people are like, oh, well, he's old, yada, yada, yada. And maybe on some aspects that is a detriment, but I try to counter that by continuing to exercise and continuing to try to stay as healthy as I can so that I'm not a liability. Because some people may look at that, we don't want the old people, we want this, that, and the other. Or maybe that I have that mindset to where I may be sometimes set in certain ways, have certain patterns. But I think I'm also trying to counteract that by trying to be open and take information in and able to listen to other people. So those may be two things that may be detrimental, or other people may interpret as, being detrimental or a liability.
Very good. Zach.
Uh,
Hey, Zach.
well, firearms. I'm pretty good with my hands. I can build things. I can take something apart, put it back together, take other things, make other things out of different things. I do that all the time. Jury rigging stuff, I guess you want to call it. I never even thought about being a good cook. Yeah, I'm a hell of a cook. Things like that. No, I do that. Growing things. I talk.
That might be one of the most important things, man. Being able to cook and being able to know what foods, how long to cook them and stuff like that. Keep a lot of people alive.
Yeah, I know how to do that. I know how to cook it, and I know how to eat it. And that's more than 3. And then I guess for me, it would be physical too. Like I got really bad knees from being super heavy a lot of times. I've lost a ton of weight over the years. I got really bad knees, and but I'm a pretty strong, mobile guy, even though I'm a big guy. But that's my thing. My knees suck. They're terrible. At some point, I'm gonna have knee replacements. I already know that.
No. Carbon.
Oh no, the guests. Go ahead. How about the lady who's prepper next?
Bougie prepper.
That's right.
It's a good question. I don't really have any professional skills at all, so I don't have any of that. I just have your regular common sense, and so I don't know.
Definitely.
That's
common sense.
That's a
I
skill,
could
right?
think on my feet. I'm very calm, cool, and collective, so I do good under pressure.
okay. Are you good with children?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a skill. Do you cook?
We'll survive.
No. Do you plant or do you grow? Okay. So
I'm working on that, but I know it's not that I don't know what to do, but I haven't gotten where the gardeners are now. I just recently started. I've only been on it like a year or 2 now. I just recently started that.
Are you a calming and soothing voice of reason in a stormy situation?
Yeah, that would be me.
That's very important.
Extremely important. Yeah.
That would be
Well, I
me.
can see that too, because your voice is common.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no disrespect, but the man, she's making me get my answers a little bit better. I'm over here feeling like I'm gonna be on the spot, like, oh crap. Now I'm a little bit calmer.
No, that was like, ooh, a skill. Yeah.
This
So-
is exactly what we're trying to get people to see their strengths
Yeah.
and what they may need to work on. Like you said, growing. So do I. I don't know. A plant should not live in my house; it will die. But I'm working on that.
Yeah,
So
too.
yeah.
I killed all the first things that I tried to grow, because I don't like bugs. So I was trying to kill bugs that I didn't see yet. So I killed all the plants.
So, in an honest opinion of yourself, what is the one weakness that might make or break the deal? What's that one thing that you know could go wrong with you, or is already wrong, that is just beyond repair, that you would hope they would let you in this village?
One thing. I don't know. Only thing is I know my patience, as you used to wonder, I thought about it once when you was younger and why old people so mean? Now I'm getting older and I see why. So my patience is very
Smell my water.
so that would be the only thing right now is like my patience.
Not bad. And I don't think a lot of people understand how important that is. So when you do, I watch Survivor a lot. I don't know if anybody else is a Survivor fan, but there's a few things. The first thing that gets anybody any fame, an asset, is either being able to cook, fish, or make fire. But the first person off of the island is always a person with the less patience. That shows their crankiness or their attitude. So I can see that definitely as a liability when you sit back and say, yeah. So sometimes I don't want a negative attitude or a cranky attitude around. It ruins marriages, so let alone it being a village, So I dig that.
Well, when
that.
I
Was
say patience, not like hot-headed patience, like I don't have no time for no BS patience.
But even that is for you to realize it and say, you know what, that might be that one thing that I got to start curving or watch as I.
Now I know how to start a fire. Now that you said that,
there you go.
Yeah,
that's a hell of an asset. Amazing.
Yeah. So Bucka Bushido said the wrong attitude can destroy a team. I absolutely agree.
100%.
Yeah, that's why
I told my kids I grew them up with a certain mindset, and now that they have their people, I tell you better get y'all people head right.
Yeah.
If it hit the fan, they better be right.
being able to put aside what it is that you want in order to do what's best for the group. Some people can't do it. I just can't see myself. I have to do it because I want to. No, we need to be able to say, listen, I need to do this because it's for the greater good. It's for everybody, even if it's not what I like.
I want to be able to say, move this, do that, and everybody move. Like, no, what are we doing this for? Why we got to do this? No, when we need to move, and I say move, we need to move.
That's why I love the military experience, because it teaches you that. You don't listen to somebody's tone or he was rude when he said it. It's like you got to
right.
If the sergeant says do it, you just do it. Boom.
Leave your emotions at the door.
Leave all that at the door. Don't have time for that. Let's go. So that's a good point.
You hear me?
Are you in the military? Any chance? Who's you prefer?
I'm sorry, no.
Well, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You seem to have like that.
So.
Yeah.
See, alpha, huh?
That's that Leo.
Yeah. All right, Ghetto, you're next.
Ghetto.
Oh no.
What your funky ass bringing to the table, Ghetto?
I'm gonna be the village comedian. Everybody need a gesture. No, I'm just
the morale, play the music, right?
there you go.
Right, listen to the Pac while it out.
There you go. Exactly.
Hey.
I'm just gonna put it like I'm a very personal person when it comes to OPSEC and sharing in the public eye. So I'm not gonna go deep down into it, but I would be good throughout security. I've been through it. I've lived through it. And I got 41 years of training through it in all aspects of survival. I think that's what the ghetto is very good for us, is it trained us at very young ages to be hungry, to look out, to pay attention to who's your friend and who's your enemy, stuff like that. So in a security aspect, that's the number one thing I think I would be able to bring to the table. Communications, I'm very good at talking to people no matter who you are. I'm able to find out who you are, if that makes sense. Like, good person, bad person, stuff like that. Skills would be, woodworking, stuff like that. I'm not a full-on carpenter or anything, but I know my way around wood. That's what I do as a trade right now. And then my downfall, and I know that's probably only two, but my downfall would be, if it's a physical attribute, I only got one eye, so maybe that would come into play. But I've only had one eye for like 20 years, so I mean I'm good with it now. But other than that, I'm not sure. I'm gonna actually come back and say what my downfall, because that's the one I've been thinking about this whole time. It's kind of hard to be honest with yourself when it comes to that in a group aspect. So I'm still thinking on that one.
You do always need a comedian type person, though. That
Right.
you keep a guy that can keep you laughing. A guy can keep you laughing. You keep him hanging around you just because of that. Like, laughter is good medicine, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'll make you laugh for food. I'm gonna walk up to that village with a sign. I'll make you laugh for beans. They're gonna let me in.
All right, so we're gonna come back to you, Ghetto. Think about it for real.
Yeah.
MHP.
Hey.
Q. You know what? I'm sorry.
What's
I
good?
feel like
No. Go ahead, because I'm actually looking at this and I'm trying to drop links at the same time.
What's good?
I have to take care of this moderating thing. I have to get
what's
that
up,
taken care of.
young fella? How you feel? Yeah, I was talking to you, MHP, young fella. Damn it.
Okay. What's good? What's good, y'all? Yeah, 20 years service, man. Actually, training small arms instructor. We did survival training, detachment, evacuation. Egress training. A lot of survival stuff that we have to put soldiers and personnel like that into a test atmosphere. And seeing things, how to evaluate under pressure, who will break, who will make it, things like that. Those scenarios, I had a lot of training in. Then also, got shipped off and went training with Blackwater and did prior contracting with Lockheed Martin. So I've been around the block.
So let us know, what is that one flaw? What is that one liability that you see in yourself, that if you came into a village and tried to sell yourself to stay there?
My habit would be probably trying to do everything myself.
That's one of mine.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a little.
Moving somebody.
I'm gonna throw a little.
Somebody out the way and just.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in this real quick. I don't want to hear about what can be changed or what attitudes can be curved. I want to hear you say, if I lose my glasses, I'm worthless. If I hurt my toe, I'm shot. That realistic, what would make you a complete liability out in the field?
Oh, man.
Earlier, I had said,
I don't know,
I'm good at a lot of things, but if my back goes out, I'm not good at nothing.
Yep, anybody though. That's everybody.
Yeah, my knees. My knee. Yeah, that's.
There you go. There you go.
There risk of knee damaging. Yeah, I
You
feel
all
like
messed
that. I'm shot. But if I can
See, I was
crawl,
buying you. I was
can
buying
crawl,
you
I can
about
shoot.
10 minutes ago. But that's that
Yeah,
realistic
like I'm
stuff that we
saying
all
though,
have
at
to
the end
sit
of
and
the
think.
day, but the honest truth, man, I'll probably, I'll go down fighting, man. That's one thing about me. I don't give up. I don't believe in that. I've been around a lot of scenarios, seen a lot of people, commit suicide in boot camp and stuff, rates at that time. Just see a lot of crazy shit, access and falls and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you have to prepare yourself, man. You have to prepare yourself because, when you're in the service, you see so much that a lot of people don't really get to see. Unless, like, Carbon Q in the correctional facility, you get to see a lot of things like that too. But, you know, day-to-day basis, we go through things, you might land into a country where, you know, it's nothing to eat. The wildlife is eating up on the villagers. You got to go in and evacuate them. They're
Hey guys.
pulling people off a raft. The shark is eating the whole family. Things like that. And like I said, you have to adapt and overcome that. And the main thing, I know my back injuries and everything wouldn't stop me. It's just the things that you have to fight from the PTSD.
Mm.
Can I,
True that.
can I answer that question? I think for me, it's not anything physical, but if something happened, say I'm in a group and somebody came in and did something to my family, like took my family out, I would probably just say F it, and I'd go on a suicide mission to kill as many of those mofos as I possibly could. Seriously.
So,
I
like,
think that would break
uncontrollable
me.
rage.
Yeah, I could see myself
Yeah.
doing that. Just like,
Yeah.
no, y'all don't get to live. I'm gonna go and do whatever is necessary to make sure that those people don't get to breathe the same air as everybody else. So
Yeah.
learning to control that and stop that, not that let that be a liability, because if you hurt me and mine, I think I have the capability of trying to,
Even
not
the
make it
score.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go on to the next, I want to ask everybody on the panel. This is something that a lot of people might not see as a liability. It kind of flies under the radar, but is anybody bilingual? Anybody in the chat bilingual? That's a huge bonus.
Does English count?
I speak Jive.
Yeah.
Nah, right? Ebonics.
Korean.
I speak Ebonics.
Being bilingual. So honestly, is nobody's on a panel at least bilingual?
Very limited.
Nah, I can
speak a
cut you
little
out in
bit of
Spanish,
foreign
but that's about it.
That's about it.
I know Ebonics.
It's
Yeah, a
it's
little Korean
that's
and
definitely
Japanese.
something.
You have
something
You have one more person for the question.
Yes. Skilly.
Yeah, I see Skilly down there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was letting y'all talk. I didn't want to interrupt no.
You better not, fool.
Where did this
Go ahead, Skilly. From the team.
That's really good.
I would say a hard worker, willing to learn.
Sorry to run on y'all. I got to roll, guys.
Hey, peace, MHP.
All right.
Bye.
Peace, peace.
Who's leaving?
Have a good day, man.
MHP.
Later.
Take it easy, man.
Like now I'm about to put with the help of a mechanic here at the shop, I'm about to put some bearings on my front on my car. So I'm always willing to learn new stuff. Hard worker, protector, naturally a protector, because I have children. So my downfall is I don't have a lot of patience for a lot of nonsense. I don't. And my health, my known health issues that I might have. Reason why I say that is because I haven't had a physical since I graduated from high school in 2003.
Damn,
so I don't know my health conditions. So that's a disadvantage for me.
BP, tell him to go to the doctor.
You got to get that baseline, man.
Yeah.
I'm going this year. I'm going to get a checkup. My wife is fussing at me.
You about old enough to get that oil check?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
He's at home.
Make sure you don't have
There you go.
no
Right
big
there.
knuckles.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta say, Hi to Ample Tactical. Long time no see. Good
What's
to
up?
see you back in the chats.
Ample, what's up, young man?
What up?
All right.
Yeah, man.
Hot Tub Tony said that he has an autistic son. Consider that a liability for him.
Yeah, that is.
I'd like him to like sort of expound on that, because when I look at that, I think I know what he means, but the fact that he lives with someone that he has to take care of, and there's a certain amount of patience and stuff that he has to have and be able to deal with, that's a strength.
It's a
Amen, brother.
strength, but
Straight
when you're
up.
coming into another group of people, trying to sell that might be a liability, because if
Yeah.
y'all got to be on the move, there's a lot of way. I see the way that he's seeing it. I understand it plenty. And me even having a 10-year-old, that could be a liability also. He might not be as fast or as strong as everybody.
Right. I can see that. I have a special needs adult, so when people talking about bugging out, I'm going down with the ship. I can't bug out with her. She has no clue what we doing, and she wouldn't she wouldn't move fast enough. So there's no bugging out unless we can move in a normal manner. Where if we would only move if the area we in is affecting our health, and we could pick up in a normal manner and move. But as far as like hustling and bustling, I couldn't do it with her.
So one thing I want to say about autistic children, adults, I don't see them as a handicap because they're very focused individuals. You just got to find what it is that they're focused on, and they are going to be immaculate in whatever that is. So if they like to work on cars, they become an asset because you just give them what they need, and they'll probably build one out of thin air.
Yeah.
So you definitely have the ability to turn a liability into a bigger asset to outweigh that liability.
Yeah. Hutch made a good point though too, with what he said.
Yeah, but to highlight that. This one, right?
Yep.
That true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Pulling people's heartstrings sometimes, get those emotions involved, and they'll, we can't let them be out there. We need to let them in. That's a good point.
That's when you can come in and take over the village though too.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, that's when you run into people like myself who'd be like, sorry, but nothing you can do.
But
Also remember, everybody, we don't want to bug out. Just saying, we become refugees as soon as we bug out. Stay home as much as you can. Stay in your situation as much as you can.
It's such a tough. I mean, that's what I prefer. But this week I realized, not that I realized it this week, but it became a hell of a truth. We had 38 tornadoes touch ground between Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. In Alabama last. Q, when was on the phone when that happened? I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so bugging out, sometimes there's no other option.
You have to.
Only the last resort is to bug out, but sometimes the only option is to bug out also. So it just depends on what your scenario situation is.
Yeah, situational.
Yep. So Q.
Yes.
Sell me you.
I'm good in crisis situations as far as making decisions, because basically that's what I did. I'm good at let me see. I think I have a calming, personality.
Aura.
I guess that would be the other one. I'm definitely a fighter. And that's 3, right? So my weakness would be, like Hutch said, I want to take care of everybody, and I know in shit situations that's not an option. So that is something that I know might be a problem, but once I get it in, once I'm in the situation, that kind of goes out the window. But for the most part, that would be my downfall, because that to me is my that's the thing about me, like that gets me into most trouble or would put me into a situation is that I try to see the best in people first when you should actually look at them and assist them for exactly what they are, right? I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Q,
I don't know. No, huh?
were you going to shoot the baby?
Right. See, this is what I'm
Yeah, let him know.
switch with
No
Q.
benefit of the doubt, baby.
When we're in the heat of things, you get a different cue. But when things are not crazy, we're just doing our everyday things. That could be my problem. You know, I don't know if that is the problem. I don't know if I'm explaining it the right way, but I do know that it's a weakness for me because not everybody is a good person. Not everybody has good intentions, and sometimes
So
you see the good in everybody kind of blindsides you.
I think it's
let,
striking a balance because Q knows and Billy knows too. My first thing is always to be like, yo, fuck you. That's always my thing. It makes it easier for me. Just be like, yo, fuck them. Because in this way I can just move on and do what I need to do. Q's thing is almost to the opposite end of that. So I think both of us need to meet somewhere in the middle. Because Q will be like, no, don't just, give them a little bit of time. I'm like, nah, fuck that, fuck them. But we need to meet somewhere in the middle. That's what it is.
Because I think like sometimes people show the very harsh side of them because they've been hurt so much or they've been misunderstood so much that they just show you the fuck you side. You know what I'm saying? It's easier. And if you just give them a little bit of time, you'll find that like these are some of the most nicest, most well-versed people that you'll ever come across. But because life has been so difficult and so hard for them, they automatically just show the rough side, and that's the only side you'll get. Like you got to work just to get to the actual person. You got to get past all these walls, all these things. I like to sometimes dig deep and just see the person. Like I want to know you before I write you off. I want to say, a little rough around the edges, but this is what's good about them. You know what I mean? Like look at this person, look past that and see this about this person. Might be an asshole, but he's great. She might be a little crazy, but she's really good at doing that. I think.
What up,
let me ask you a personal question.
Everybody coming in?
What's up, y'all? Let me ask you a personal question. Me and you there's a camp, 20 people.
Right.
And you and I are both, well versed in firearms. And they sent us out hunting for a deer. And you're posted and you got the shot, Q. You got the shot. Clear. You're close to him. What's the word? What are you doing?
I'm telling you, I'm not shooting the deer. You already know this.
You're gonna be hungry. You're hungry.
Everybody, I just want y'all to understand. I told them from the jump. I said, when it comes to hunting and bringing back, don't put Q in charge of that. Put Q in charge of something else, or put her someplace else to work because I'm not the animal. I'm going to tell you, and it's not my weakness. I'm not.
But if your baby is back at the village starving, are you gonna take that shot?
That's why I said somebody else could do it. I'm just saying I'm not doing that. Like I can't.
I think you'll take the shot
on the deer and shoot the damn deer.
No. I'm pretty sure.
I think you would.
Until like I'm at a desperate point. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but if you're talking to me right now, I'm not doing it, and you're not gonna make me do it.
But that's why it's important for you to get mentally prepared right now.
Right.
All of us, because that's a weakness right now, as you see it, because you're not gonna survive like that.
You're right. That's why that's a group of people.
And see, that's why when I was talking about the elders and children, the elders and children would be my weakness. I can't shoot no old person. Can't shoot no child. Zach said if it come down to it, he'll do it. But I'm like, no.
So that depends on if they coming at you.
Right. I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't even know. It depends on the situation. It said you have to be able to have that. I like to believe I'm a certain way, so I can be really cold. I'm just built like that. And if it comes down between me and you, let's just be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. It's gonna always be me.
Mhm.
That's how that goes. And if
Me
you
and my group,
old,
we're
young,
yeah.
blind, crippled, crazy, whatever, it's always got to be me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I mean, it's the survival of the fittest, man. That's the first rule in life is to survive.
The greater good has to take precedent. You know,
Right.
it's not doesn't mean you enjoy it or that you're a
Right.
sociopath, this, that, and the other. But sometimes hard decisions have to be made, and it's
That's
like,
right.
Well, I just wanted to jump in, y'all. I'm about to get off here and go work on my car. But I just wanted to show you support, sis. But I'm about to get out of here and go fix on my car.
Miss Gilly.
Peace, Gilly.
Yeah, girl, Bulletproof Sundays.
All right, man.
Link.
I said, all right, thank you. Oh yeah, Bulletproof. Check me out tomorrow. I will be
Yeah,
on.
man.
Okay.
Right. Peace.
Where in New York you from?
back home, but
Who, me? Originally, I'm from
See what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt y'all, but
Queens.
I'm doing it this time. Hutch just said it. The sign of a good community is the fact that each person is set up to promote their strength and not be pushed across the line, regardless of how arbitrary. Thank you, Hutch.
Yeah, and that's a good
it's
example.
understandable. Yeah.
And she's right. You take people where you know where their strengths are. Like, it's the thing. If I knew we had a hunting party and Q was there, I wouldn't send her. I'd be like, hey, Q, you stay back here.
Exactly.
You prepare the vegetables. We'll be back.
Yeah, forage for some berries.
Right. Right. Get some berries. We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
We got the other side.
I'll be a whole nutcase by the time I get back. Y'all want to deal with that? Or
Shoot the deer, Q.
hi, Dag. Yeah, that's.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
Good, y'all.
Who's that?
So-
Hi, Starduster. How you doing?
Hi, babe. What's up? Boozy and Carmen, all of y'all.
Hey.
How you feeling?
Hey, Zach. Zach. So, hey, oh, this is our RSO. He was say, "What's
Hey,
up?"
how y'all?
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
How
Hey.
your mama now?
I couldn't hear
Hey,
him.
let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're here.
Listen for this now. Young man, 82 years old.
That's what I'm talking
Whoa.
about.
What do you put on your grits?
Oh no.
You put a little bit of sugar
Here you go.
and butter.
That's because
That's what I'm talking about.
he's 82. We don't know
That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
got it right.
We like cornbread and buttermilk.
Yeah.
Hey, I know this is way off subject, but Zach,
What?
Stardust out here with a B&T, y'all.
Really?
Yeah, I ain't playing. Not
Alex
playing.
is with it too.
Yeah, Alex shot it.
Alex was hitting, like binging.
The B&T.
I need to be out there with y'all.
Nice.
So
I'ma
I'ma jump back in a couple minutes. We're gonna clean up and I'll be right in there.
All right. But
All right.
Yeah.
like this says, would I cook it after the deed is done? Yeah, I don't have a problem doing that part.
Peace, Alex.
The whole
Peace out.
taking the life, watching it leave, and what if I didn't hit it the first time and now I got to run up on it and
Finish.
put it out? It's just not something that I want to do.
What about chickens, Q? I watched the lady do.
No, they be like ringing the neck. I'm not doing that either.
No.
Mm.
We
I'll
got
help
you.
them cook it. I'll help them cut up the potatoes, tomatoes, beans, all of that. I'll go dig in the dirt for all of that. I just, it's not something that I don't think that I can handle mentally. So I'm very not with that. I'm not gonna do it.
It's good to know.
Yeah, it's not your strength, so it wouldn't be any
Not gonna
reason.
put you in that
Put you,
situation.
wouldn't be any reason to put you in that situation, right?
I'll shoot a human though. So I do. I don't know. Whatever it is about animals, whatever I can't explain it. It is what it is, and I choose not to do that.
The motive, you know the motives of people. So
Yeah.
in those situations, it's a little different.
Yeah. Lady Smith, no, I have never hunted, and I cry if I see it on on TV or some things like that. Yogi Stirrup is, I love her to death. She's amazing. She is a huntress, and when she does those videos and I'm moderating, I kind of just like not look at that part and just stick to the to the thing. But I respect people that do it because it is a survival skill. I'm not saying that nobody should do it. I'm just saying I'm just not built for that. I'm built for a lot of other things. That's just something that I don't want to do. I refuse to do it, and it is what it is. I'm pretty sure if I'm put between, a rock and a hard place, yeah, but if I can avoid it, I am, and I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah. See the chop the head part, you lost me.
Yeah, but that's like you don't gotta wring his neck. You put him in this funnel thing, you pull the head out, and you slice the throat.
Right. That's not helping the whole situation.
Lead him out, then you cut the head off.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different for me when it comes to animals. People are, different. Some people have connections to other things. I have a connection to animals, and it's almost like I can feel it, and I don't want to feel that. So that's why I'm adamant and not doing it.
Joe Vaugh's right. Say know your limits. You should
Yeah.
always know your limits.
My limit. I can't do it. I think POTB has said it one time. He said it's a very personal thing. So when I say yeah, I can. It's almost like feeling the animal go through the whole thing. And some people may think it's weird, and some people may think it's something that doesn't exist. For me, it does. So I don't.
It's with the animal.
Yeah, that's.
My son's like that. He's very, very sensitive to animals and this and the other. It's like, so I can see him, feeling that same way. So.
Hey, Ghetto.
What up, Ghetto?
What's up, Ghetto?
What's up, y'all?
How's it going, man?
Sorry about that. I kind of popped out.
Yeah, it's okay. But that would be it for carbon. Yeah, I think that would be it. Everything else I'm game for. Just security wise, carbon's here for it. I don't know. that would be it for me. I'm good at a lot of things. I don't, I think I would be an asset. If you're asking me, I would be an asset wherever I go because I'm never gonna come empty handed, and I'm willing to work. I'm just not shooting the animal, and that's it. And I think that's a great thing too when you have somebody who's willing to work, not sit back and watch everybody else work.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of people that will sit back and watch everybody run around and do whatever and still eat at the table.
Also willing to learn too. It's like a lot of us don't have certain skill sets, but if you're always willing to learn, and you can be taught. Everybody can be taught if they're just willing. But some people just have like close off. Well, I don't want to do that because I'm not good at it. Well, you're not going to get good at it unless you learn to be good at it. So that willingness to learn is key too. So.
How did I get so attached to animals? Animals always gravitate towards me. I was walking home from school. I had 2 dogs following me home, and I walked quite a ways from home. They just, wherever I go, if I go any place, I don't have a problem with animals. Maybe I should have been a mailman, right? But I like them. I like them. I find comfort in them, and they're very comforting. You can almost tell, what they need. Even though he drives me nuts, my dog, I can still, and anybody that has a dog, but I think it's just with animals. It's with birds. It's weird. It's weird. I can't explain it to you, but
I think what Milkmaid said is correct.
Yeah.
If you're willing to eat it, you should be willing to kill it and clean it. I kind of agree with that.
I agree with her too. That's why I would cook it. I understand we have to survive, so I would have to cook it. The whole process of killing it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but if everybody have their different things that they're doing, nobody shouldn't have to be forced to do something that they're not comfortable with.
That's true.
But
I mean, if you're doing something else to earn to eat, you shouldn't have to go and kill it and clean it also.
Yeah, I agree on that one. But I think her I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was there's a respect though, a respect for that animal. So I mean, it's actually, in a sense, it's respecting the animal by killing it and eating it. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Because that's. But no, in a village type situation, yeah, I mean, everybody should have their own jobs, and people that don't want to do certain things, they're not going to be able to do certain things.
Sorry. Because even like in today's villages, most of the women don't go and hunt. What they do, they wait for it to come back and they fix it up and cook it. So
I'd rather kill than dress. Just saying.
Right.
I can't mess with the dressing, but I can kill it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it.
What up, Rush Hour?
Russia said if she's by herself and no food, you will kill the deer. I probably would. I probably would have to, you know, but at the end of the day, that's like an extreme, and I'm pushed to that point. Then yeah, I might not go deer. I might go something smaller. I wouldn't even know what to do with the deer if I did shoot it.
Afterwards, right?
Yeah, I
Neither.
don't know.
Tappan had a good point. If someone who's like an asset, but then they turn into a liability, at what point do you exile them from the group?
Immediately.
How do you do that? Do you let somebody who knows all of your OPSEC out in the general
Right.
population with other groups? I mean, that's
You take them out.
yeah.
The same.
I mean, that's another one of those hard decisions.
Mhm.
It's like, if somebody becomes a liability, what do? You know, do you lock them up in the basement somewhere? Do you know, like you said, make that hard decision and say there's only one way out? You know, blood in, blood out. You know, what do you do?
So, what kind of liability would they become that you need to put them out?
That's a good question. I mean, say somebody who just, again, say they were contributing and now all of a sudden they don't want to contribute whatsoever.
Then
they steal from the group. They're holding
eat.
food. They're doing stuff that's counterproductive to the
They
group.
cause division in the group. Things
People
like that. I think that's
don't eat.
I don't like him. I should be in charge.
Right.
No, now see those type of people. Yeah, you need to tie them up in the basement, because that type of attitude where you start talking about I should be in charge. That's that, like, you don't want those type of people.
Egos, you don't want egos.
Yeah.
So those are hard, but those things come up, you know, in every group. So how do you address them?
I think maybe if you have, like, when people come in and you have rules that you tell them up front, and one of those are the rules, like if you don't work, you don't eat, and if you start doing something and you change, your butt get put out.
Yeah, but then again, OPSEC, if somebody's in your group for, say, even a limited amount of time, a few weeks, they know kind of how things work. So then when you bring people in, those things have to be addressed. There have to be levels to that. Okay,
Right.
we only give you access to this, and that. You don't get this information. Where we store this, where we
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It has to be talked about.
Everybody don't need to know everything. Only
Exactly.
what they need to do, and that's it.
Need to know basis. So, but those things have to be discussed and established before. And if you violate it, again, like you said, there are certain rules and regulations. Is there a council? Is there, you know, how are those decided? But again, those have to be decided and talked about.
Take them on a walk on the bridge. Jova said, "Take them hunting with Q and let Q shoot them."
I'll be more than happy to. At the
Scammers.
If you're against the group and you're you got to go.
Right, Cherokee. It's like something.
But it has to be an absolute, you know, decision. It can't be something trivial. Right. It has to be like you are.
You're a threat to the group, basically. Unrecoverable. We can't tolerate this.
There's no jail. I agree with that. There's no jail when there's a shit hit the fan situation. There ain't no jails. I don't got time to be tying you up.
There should be law, though. I mean, there really should be some kind of law within the group. Like there's a standards what people got to go by, but the jail and stuff, no.
I agree with that. Yeah,
skip a jail.
You go outside of those rules and break those laws, the consequence has to be that you're not here. It's just
so how do you determine whether or not you let them back out? General population, say if there are no other groups around, there's no known threats where they can go to and talk to you. Would that make it easier for you to kind of let them go out on their own, kind of, you know, ostracize them, or how would you address that? You know. Or would you, is it always boom, you gone?
So I got a question for you guys. Are you looking for a group after shit hits the fan, or are you just trying to stay within yourself? Is finding a group more of a need than a want? Or you guys want to have a group? Me, myself, I just want me, my wife, and my kids, and that's it. At least for a while.
I want to have a limited number
until we can't do nothing else. They're just me and my kids.
Yeah. What if I have to leave Texas? I'm in Texas. So what if I have to go up to Tennessee, or I have to go up, you know, in some other area for whatever reason. I would like to have a group of people that I can at least correspond with and say, hey, do we have these rally points? Do we have that? So I think, like we all talked about before, that bug-in situation, being self-sufficient is always good, but always put things in place just in case.
Yes, exactly. Perfect answer, man. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. What about you, Barbecue? You gonna look for that group, or you gonna be more self-sustainable, and that's gonna be like your last resort? Because you got so many personalities, so many different things that you got to go through within these groups, and that's just within the group. You got criminals, you know what I mean? Straight pedophiles, straight killers, straight everything, and those are personalities that we can't just look on a computer and dude got he got a rap sheet. We got to figure it out just within, so it'd be, for me, it'd be sketchy going to a group.
Yeah.
Really get it. In my head, I have my group, right now it's lone wolf for me, but I have a core of people that I know if it got that bad, these are the people I'm heading towards. Like we've established, to me, you know what I'm saying? And I think they feel the same way because of our daily conversations and the things that we share. So yeah, I have what I need to, and the people that I need to, be in touch with. But I don't mind growing, because I think you need to also have a wide network of people.
Exactly.
To make things happen. I can have my base group. This is my core group. And then anything can change in that group. Like where we're at could be jacked up. Now they bombing that, and we all got to disperse, right?
Yeah.
We still need to have a network of people that even if we can't stay together, you could shoot over there, you could shoot over there, you could shoot over there. And it's not such a burden on another camp if we have to go in.
Yeah. Kind of gives the intel, lay of the land in advance, so you know where to move, where not to move, how to move. You gotta have those key people.
Yep. You're right, Jag. You should learn how to do it. But what I will do is I'll have all the tools and stuff that somebody needs to field dress. You don't have the tools? I got you. Here go, here whatever you need.
Same with medical, Carbon. You have a ton of medical stuff, but you may not be able to do all that. But say somebody comes in, wow, you have roll this, you can equip people to do.
Yeah.
So those people
I gotta connect with you, Carbon, because I want to be the village healer, and I'm working on my medical stuff. So I gotta check in with you to see what I got and what I need.
Okay. There's also a sister, melanated high priestess. She's a herbalist. Something that we need to go into, because a lot of our medical stuff is going to be cut short as well.
Exactly.
That's why I'm trying to get as much of stuff as we could.
Yeah. We all here to, reach out.
101 made a good point. But yeah, herbalist, man, that's the naturalists and stuff like that. Yeah, you need to know your stuff, or at least have the books for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that too. The books.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we skip that part, having those physical books, electronic backups to those things, put them on USBs, so you can distribute that information if you have the ability to do that. Having all that stuff at your fingertips and be able to distribute it, and that's being an asset. If you can share information. If I have, a kit, something to show somebody how to skin a deer, I could hand out that little thing. Okay, here's what you need. Here's what the information you need for this stuff. So that goes a long way too. When especially if you come across a group, hey, I have access to this information they could share. So
I actually forgot to add that earlier to Billy's question, but yeah, that's actually what I do is take all the PDF files, any videos I'm finding online, I'll record them, download them, and they all stay on micro SD cards. I got a few terabytes filled with micro SD cards, just put in my safe, put away. I got smaller generators to run my little tablets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For entertainment, but for knowledge, just to know, hey, I got to learn how to build this or do this or do that.
One of the things I do, every electronic device that I have, I never throw away. It becomes a storage device.
Exactly.
This, that, and the other. So you can disseminate these, and then again the physical copies too for each one of these things.
Yes.
These are cheap things, like Q said, field dressing. she may not know how to do it, but she has that in the pack. Hey, here you go. Boom. That's how you do that. So having those things at your fingertips and in your, inventory in your kit and being able to share those things with other people make you an asset. So, there's a lot of things we can do, especially if we're physically limited or, there may be some other things that, we may not be good at. Just having information's like one of the primary things you need to have. That's a good one.
Is out there. I know Hatip said there's no there should be no jails, but I do believe that you should have an area where if you capture somebody because you need to find out information about something,
away from
they're not in your main camp, where they location or they know the layout of it. So you do need a destination where you can have those people held.
Yeah.
And
that's part of your OPSEC. Yeah, you got to have that away, like you said, away from your main camp. So they're coming in, they're doing recon or whatever, but they're not seeing the whole thing. So you want to be able to isolate them and keep them,
absolutely. That's for drunken fights, theft, etc. Because again, there's unless you know your base camp, you never know who you might take in, right? Those people still need a separate area before they even get to your core group. They need to make sure they don't have any diseases. So they don't bring anything into your camp that'll disrupt anything that you have going on there. So they do need a time period or an area separate from your base camp just to feel them out. Whether it's just to watch them, see their temperament, see how, if they're going to be a good addition to what you already have going on, their mental status. There's a lot of things that you may want to do or have an area. PLTB, when we did the Warmer Wednesday, we were talking about this. What if you do get captured? You don't want to give up the home base. You can give up that base.
Exactly. And everybody has to know that protocol and procedure in advance. No, okay, these are the coordinates or this is what you're going to give them. So we know, and then you have your people, of course, scoping that out. So if somebody's third start coming out, okay, we know you've been compromised because they walked up right on that spot. But again, all that forethought has to be put into place because you never know. And anybody too, the other thing too, people can fake stuff for a pretty good amount of time. They can fake it and act, oh yeah, this and the other. But eventually, like Q said, the real you is going to come out. So having a place where you can monitor them over time and put them under pressure, put them under situations that make them uncomfortable. One of the things I would do, even in job interviews, when I would do job interviews, I would have somebody, if it was cold outside, I'd do the interview outside and cold. I would put a rock or something under the chair so they couldn't get comfortable in the chair.
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody.
So, keep people in uncomfortable situations so they show you and have to, not have that facade. What's up?
What up, Joe?
What
up? We just hollering at y'all, man.
Okay.
Y'all have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
So that's a good thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be ran like how we view prison now. Again, you are now in charge of your whole base camp. You guys sit down. It depends on how people run it. If they choose to have a leader or if they choose to have everybody have a voice and a vote in what goes down, things will work out easier. All depends on how you choose to run it.
Yeah, that's why in that type of situation, if you're gonna be like, because I'm with Ghetto, my thing is to be as self-sufficient as possible without a group until I have to be with a group, and then that group, you should ahead of time try to know the best that you can, the different personalities, who you can work with, who you can't work with, who may be a pressure point for different things, things like that. You do the best that you can, so when you bring those different personalities together, try to see if they can make them work. You do it ahead of time, like do it now when ain't no shit hitting the fan. I mean, it is, but not like things are going crazy where you can't get anything right now. So it's the planning. It's ahead of that whole bug out thing. Is the planning of it. This is where we're gonna go. So this is who I'm gonna be with. Know everybody's personality. Talk with those people. The people that I think that I would end up doing that with, those are the people that I'll talk to every single day. So I know what's going on. If this person is having some sort of emotional breakdown, or if they're having some sort of substance abuses or things like that. You find out and you learn and know those people. So when you get in that situation, and put those different personalities together, they can work together and try to work around stuff, because you're not gonna like everything and anybody. I talk to you every day. I talk to Bro every day. I talk to Billy, and we clash about things all the time. But there's things that you learn different people's personalities. You learn where you need to bend, where you don't need to bend, where you need to push them, where you need to back off, things like that. Yeah. It's just it's you have to do it ahead of time. You can't start it like, oh shit, then hit the fence, so now we're gonna go group with these people. You may end up having to do that, but ideally, you want it to be people that you already know, and you already kind of know where their heads are and how they stand.
Exactly.
And that goes even for your, because as you're saying that, I could see that just in, not even in a group, my immediate family. And this is why I said about my kids and near people, like how you said you know who would like easily break down if something happens. And to me, that would be like file security. You know what I'm saying? If you can't keep yourself together, you know, you're a liability. So even in your immediate family, like who's gonna just fall apart? You know, can't keep it together.
That's good to know.
Or who's gonna come in and try to take over? Like I got an older brother, and he's got some beautiful artillery. We'll say it like that. But he ain't prepping. I've been talking to him for a couple of years. He ain't. Oh man, I got all the guns and the bullets I need. I got neighbors. I got you. I'm like, dude, you ain't know. You come to my house, I'm gonna smoke you and take your guns. That's it. There's no. But it's only because of his attitude, and I'm not trying to be cold-hearted, but it's because he's my older brother. He would come into my house. I could already see the situation. He would come into my house, and then he would dictate my house. Because he's my older brother, because he's got whatever, or he thinks you know what I mean? And it's like, it wouldn't, you got to make sure you prevent people from coming in and taking over anything. But I don't know. Maybe that's a rant on my brother, I guess.
Families are tough. You know, I think about my family. I have a brother who's a PhD in theology, and his first reaction is probably going to be just pray on it, or it is what it is. And I have a brother who's been in the prison system, and I know he's going to be jacking fools. So knowing, the limits of how I'm going to deal with each one of those situations, and knowing their levels of expertise and this, that, and the other, you have to be able to deal with those realities. It is what it is, and you have to meet people where they are and accept where they are, because you can't be trying to change stuff on the fly. Oh, maybe this. And when that thing happens, when the switch is flipped, you have to be boom in another mindset.
Yeah. So my question for you would be: so who would you want? Which brother would you want?
I'm going to take the one who's the PhD in theology, because he's grown up with me. He knows I've been prepping since I've been 10 years old. He always says, "You've been doing this stuff since you were, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Boy Scouts and this and that and ROTC." So I will go with him, because he's also, even though he has that, he grew up in the hood with me. So he knows what the reality of it is. He was out there, kind of out there as well. I don't want to put his business out there. So I think he has the ability to transform and realize the situation and be level-headed. He's very thoughtful, caring. He's a good person as far as that's concerned. He's not going to he's going to kind of balance me out, where I'm just going to be like, boom. But the other brother, he's proven that he's not trustworthy over time. So it's not even a hard decision. I know. I love you, but can't deal with you. So we have to look those realities, meet people where they are, and move from there.
See, I didn't know the double action of you being from the streets and having, PhD. So that right there.
He's a federal agent right now. He worked in the penal system. He had it, so we all of us have kind of like an interesting background. So he's seen it, he's done it, and has that level of experience on a lot of sides of the fence, which I think is fantastic. A lot of us have that as well, like you were talking about the streets. I have family that are in the streets, very close.
Yeah, you have to have that, because I don't. When I see the balloon going up, when the switch being pulled, I don't see it in a military aspect.
Yeah,
I see it as a straight street aspect, and that's why I asked the question, because without knowing those individuals, your brothers, I would have went for the dude that's been in the penitentiary. Like, all right, he already knows what's going on. I mean, depending on why he was there, but you know what I mean? In my mind frame, I want the killers with me. And
My
not to say
brother,
your brother's a killer. I'm just saying that, I want the people that's been doing dirt for years and years and years.
well, like I said, my brother who has a PhD, yeah, he has a PhD, but he was like,
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So your people. Exactly. Yeah.
So you have to
'Cause
weigh them accordingly and this, that, and the other. And I think we need to not just say, just take the street. We have to combine that street with the military, with the scientific, with the, be able to put your fingers in the dirt. We have to take all the best of everything that we need. Take what we need and leave the rest of it alone. And that's kind of been my experience over time. I've had military, I've had security, I've had, so I think each of us have those experiences where we've interacted with people. Take the best and leave the rest alone. So we can't look at one thing. Oh, this is the only thing I need to do. That kind of limits you as to your options. So being flexible is good, great. Having those things.
Does your brother prep also?
My I'm the oldest. He's starting to.
Mm-hmm.
He's, man, I need to do this. Yeah, I need to do that. But for a long time, since he's been into the theological, it's like, okay, well, I'm more concerned about their spirit and saving salvation and yada, yada, yada. But it's like, well, and we always have these discussions. When he was started on his journey, it's like, well, that's all good, but we're here.
Right.
We're here right now. So what we gonna do about being here? That's, I understand the need to have that spirit, right? But we also have situations in this. God just want us to be out here just, being victims? I don't think so. So we need to be, we have to protect what God has put. So there's a certain responsibility. So we always have those discussions. So, and he's starting to see. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, and he has 20 grandkids. So we talk about being able to protect what's in and around, what God has given you. You have to be able to protect that. And theologically, that's in there. Building and battling. You have to have a sword in one hand and the Bible,
But they said pray and move your feet.
That's how I approach it with him, so we got anyway.
I have problems with people who say, at least I know where to come. No, you don't.
No,
right. No, you don't.
I can't tell you how many ex-girlfriends I have. Well, I know I'm coming. No, you ain't coming over here. No, just no. You're not gonna. No. Did I stutter? No. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm not alone with that, because I was like, what? Not happening.
Yeah.
So much to think about with shit hits the fan, and just prepping, just dealing with people, knowing yourself and what you lack in and what you excel at. It's probably a good thing. So when you have to, assess other people, you kind of know where you fit in. And things like that. I don't even want to go into religion because that sparks arguments. And just putting that, when you have a whole bunch of people and it's different religions, that could cause a problem as well.
Exactly.
That point, I think everybody should just be regular.
Thank you.
If you want to practice whatever you want to practice, that's fine. But
the one thing that I think people need to do, especially when it comes to religion, is in most religions, because there's some that are not, there's always a moral thread of being.
Exactly.
If you can learn to pick through that religion and pick out the deities or whatever, and just focus on that moral thread of being, we can all get along. Exactly. If your God tells you to be benevolent, my God tells me to be benevolent. And God says that I'm supposed to, help the sick and feed the homeless and feed the hungry and things like that. Those are moral things that we can agree on. Those are just right things we can agree on, and we can look past it. I don't care if you serving Muhammad or Buddha or whatever.
Whatever you call him.
Right, those things that are moral. All those things run through all religions. You do have some religions that are crazy, but for the most part, the major religions, I'll call them, they always have those moral threads that run through them. So pay attention to those things. It doesn't matter if Muhammad said it. It doesn't matter if Jesus said it. It doesn't matter if Buddha said it or whatever. What's the moral thing that we can take out of that so we can separate those different deities and things that we call God or whatever, so we can just move forward and make this happen. Later, after we get things going, then we can worry about, I'm going to worship Christ, or I'm going to worship Buddha, or I'm going to worship this. But let's take the morality out of it and make it work for each other. That's one way to look at it, because if you start attacking the thing that a person thinks is the thing that drives them, that basically fuels their eternal damnation or destiny or whatever, you're gonna always butt heads. But if you can just always look at the moral part of it, you can have more agreement, move forward to work that way. You can work together.
That's part of those rules that's gonna have to be set.
Right, that's the best way to deal with religion.
That kind of stuff alone.
Yeah,
to keep the peace in the
yeah, and those are some people that you may have to watch out before you let them in your core group.
But that's the thing. If you can, most people that I've met, you meet some people who are like, I guess we would call them zealots. But most people who have some sort of spiritual grounding, there's always that moral thing that runs through there.
Exactly.
So we can just concentrate on that, just being good people towards each other and doing what we know is right. What's good and what's bad, things like that. You can avoid all that religious conflict. There's always going to be some there, but just you got to sort of move past it. The problem comes when you start moving into the different deities and I worship this and worship that. As long as we're looking at what's good and bad, we should be able to work together. We should be.
It is Walking Dead stuff. I love Walking Dead because you look at all this stuff we're talking about. It's like they're talking about it right there on the screen. They're talking about the religion. They're talking about security. They're talking about who's in charge and how do you handle people when stuff happens. So it's like a test case or something people can visualize and say, how would I handle that situation? It's like a simulation on the screen. Okay, how would you have handled that? Would you have let Negan, just beat people in the head and followed him, or would you have, fought back? What led to Negan doing what he did? What led to this? So I think it's another form of mental exercise, but you have to ask those critical questions. Same with religion. It's things that have to be discussed and talked about and agreed upon in advance before it becomes a problem. You can't become a problem by talking about it.
I just choose not to do with it. I believe with the moral compass, because you're gonna have to do some things. Like I just said, I don't have a problem killing a human. That's against just about every and all religions to a degree, right? To me, it's just best to leave that to the basic foundation, and it is a personal thing. Whatever, as long as it doesn't corrupt the group, it doesn't cause strife or arguments or anything like that. That's gonna have to stay that way.
Yeah. I mean, there have been certain groups that said, when it comes to that, it's like kill them all, let God sort them out. That was like a thing. It's like, sometimes you don't have the ability to do those things. We talked about those brothers in Afghanistan, those soldiers in Afghanistan, where they came up upon somebody, discovered their position, and then it was became a discussion: do we kill this kid and let him go back to, or let him go back to the village and possibly endanger our mission? They had to decide on the fly, what they did, and they let him go. And I think 5 or 6 of them didn't make it. Only one of them made it out of there. Survivor. That one book, So that's you have to talk about those are realities that may happen, and how we all address them is going to be potentially problematic. So you got to think about it.
Yep. I think that is a long discussion with that. And I think people need to have that with each other if they're going to have a group of people hanging around.
You have to. That plays in, especially us being in America. Religion always comes into play. Religion, race, and politics always come into play, no matter what. And religion, and out of those 3, I think religion is the worst. And I say that because I've been a preacher. That's the reason why I say it. I think it's the worst, is because anytime something basically figures into your eternal salvation or damnation, it strikes people to the core.
Yeah.
That thing is the most important thing to them. So you have to find ways to work around it. You just have to, because everybody's not going to believe the same thing. We could both say we worship Christ, but hey, I'm a Baptist and you non-denominational. So now we got a problem right there.
Yeah. I'm apostolic and you're Pentecostal.
Right.
That's a problem.
Right.
Well, it's like the levels of divisiveness can go on infinitely. But at the end of the day, you have to have those core values, those core things that bring groups together and hold them together and keep people safe and keep us in a so-called civilized or at least organized community. that we can protect each other. That's what's important.
Yeah, and as survivors, it's extremely important because we're not just surviving; we got children. We're building our next community. We building back our entire planet. So it's like, you know, it'd be up to us. We'd be all the survivors are pretty much the founding fathers or whatever, and it's up to us to be able to teach down, you know, to our kids on what it is. I think religion, period. I'm a man of faith. Don't get me wrong, but religion, period, was created to divide us. That's why you got so many of them and so many billions, not just millions, but billions of people throughout time has died for it.
Yeah. I always argue with my brother or discuss with my brothers. I find it difficult to say that God is up there playing craps with people's soul. He's up there,
right?
Bam! Oh, Pentecostal? Nope, go to hell. Boom, boom.
Right.
Nope, you go to hell. Boom. I have a problem with that. I can't accept that.
Those things were created
here or there.
Those things were created to control people.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
If anybody, and I'm not going to go into religion, but if anybody understands, the most read Bible on this planet is the King James Version. Yep. That Bible was written at a time and written for a specific reason. Look into the history of it. King James was having a problem controlling his population. So it was written a certain way and it said a certain thing. And that was one of the first books that people were able to get widespread because you had to be rich in order to get books.
He had a few boyfriends though, just saying.
Oh yeah, I know, but it was written a certain way for a certain reason to control people's minds and so he can control the kingdom. That's why you see things like slaves obey your masters and things like that. And people take it out of context because the context of a slave was different in those times than of a slave in those times. It's a whole thing I can go into. There's a lot about me people don't know. I can talk that stuff all day. I lived it for many, many years. And that's why when it comes to religion, look for the morality of it. Forget about the deity, forget about the whatever, what's right and what's wrong. Then this way people can get along because you're not fighting over, I believe this, I believe that. Everybody knows what's good and everybody knows what's bad. And then even sometimes that's subjective.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another niche that we need to pay attention to and talk about. But I don't want to, I know there's a lot of individuals that's in here that's religious and they're very serious about their religion, respectfully speaking. We're just talking about in the shit hits the fan situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is politics and religion cause problems. There won't be no politics at that point, but at the end of the day, people hold on to religion and their beliefs. As long as you can keep it out the camp, we're good. Or keep it personal, that's fine.
Respectful.
Yeah.
It's funny you brought up Walking Dead, and this is my way to veer away from religion, y'all.
Yeah.
But it's funny you brought up It's funny you brought up The Walking Dead though, because most people don't understand it's not about the zombies. The show itself is not about the zombies, it's about the structure of humanity and how we actually come together after a catastrophic situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand people may not like zombies and stuff, but it really is, I mean, it's a good map for us to kind of get an idea of what may happen if, things go real bad. I mean, they have a few things that are obviously all the way off in it, but on a societal basis, I could see a lot of groups coming into fruition from like Alexandria and stuff like that. And you can tell every one of the group members were half Negan and half Rick. You know what I mean? Like they had to do real bad things and then they sucked it up and then they had to do real good things. But I don't know. I just think it's a good map. That show itself is a good map for us to pay attention to.
I agree. I think that shows shows so many sides to what that rebuild is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing. You were talking about it before. What are we surviving for? I don't want to just survive. I don't want to just be here living in the woods for the next however long I'm going to be on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to get with like-minded people to build a community that's stronger, better. I don't want to make the same mistakes that led us to the situation we were in already.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
What are we building back? Exactly.
Build back better. Yeah, I hate
that
term, but
no, we need to build back differently.
differently. Learn from our mistakes. Learn from, we're not going to be perfect, but learn those lessons so we don't have to go through all the stuff that they're going through. And like you said, The Walking Dead is definitely about the humans. For most of the seasons, they got the zombies under control. It's the people, the interaction with groups and group dynamics and personalities and egos that have been their downfall. So that speaks to the human condition, and we have to be aware of it, accept it for what it is, accept people where they are, and then act accordingly, build accordingly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What y'all think is gonna happen? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, Kirby, I'd like to ask each one of y'all, like, what do you think is gonna make that switch? Like, because, and then I'll say what I think is going on. Like, it's a long, slow burn, but what do you think is gonna happen, Carver Q? Why do you prep? Like, what?
I think that it's going to get to the point where people cannot afford to live the lifestyle that they used to live. And even though we're so technologically advanced, we're going to go back to a lot of old ways. Like, like when they say wipe the slate clean and start from scratch, that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start interacting with each other instead of so much the computer. Where the convenience of going on here and shopping and getting your groceries, have things delivered to you. You're actually going to get out and have to go to your neighbor, and you guys are going to have to do exchange or bartering. You're going to have to get back into the gardens and being self-sufficient. And I think that is the true definition of freedom, being self-sufficient to the point where you don't need a government to tell you what to do, that you can talk to your neighbor, or you can have a area where you guys are thriving without having to do the government telling you that this is what it is. This is how you should move. And if we're smart, we should not give anybody that amount of power over us to tell us when we can leave our home, that we have to stay locked in, that we have to pay for natural resources that's out here for free. I think we're going to have to get back to caring for this planet if we want to live on it, not be so wasteful with the things that we have. When you look around, a lot of stuff we don't eat, we just get it because we're lazy and we just want to have everything handed to us. We're gonna have to get back to those days where we're gonna put a hard day's work out in that sun, whether it's tilling or rebuilding, and getting back to basic life skills, stuff that they don't teach in schools anymore, like wood shop and all of those different things.
Electrical.
Right. Learning how to do. We're gonna have to go backwards to move forward. I think that's what I believe. I kind of welcome it because it's out of hand. Like, it is insane. Like, we don't even know. I know, we all know, but people are telling you can't call somebody a him or her or a she or they. Listen here. Use the name if it's that serious, right? But things that are being pushed onto your children that is not of your household and your upbringing, it's being made the norm when you send your kids to school. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous. Even though my son is nowhere in school, like, if I had a child, homeschooling would be something I am definitely going to do.
Yes,
that's what we doing.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't
I feel sorry for parents today.
Yeah, like I will go absolutely nuts. And there's a lot of women that are staying home, and fathers that are staying home just to do that, because you send your kid to school with what you teach them as parents, and then they're unraveling all of that with what should be done. No. I think it's inappropriate, but parents have to stand up and parents have to say enough of this shit. Like, there's so many retired teachers. There's so many retired people that in the school system that you can form your own schools. Pay those people to teach your children. You know what I'm saying? They take the test on the computer. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't. I hope
it's not hard.
Yeah, it's really not. You just got to put some work into it, and that's where we're lazy at. We don't want to put work into it because everything is at the touch of our hand. They made it so that we rely on these or the computer.
Are we lazy, or are we being numbed down, like indoctrinated by these devices? because I see it both ways. I see it we're lazy, but I
All
think
of
we're
it.
conditioned to be lazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
we are.
I think
We're
it's wrong.
consumers. We're conditioned to be consumers. We just sit and consume and
Yeah.
consume and consume.
We're
Mhm.
That's
conditioned, you're
profitable for
conditioned
those.
to not be critical thinkers and to not think on
That,
your
yes,
own. If you think anything
yes.
different than the group, then something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's one of the things. I have a young son who's in school, and it's one of the things is teaching them. They don't teach them. When I grew up, it was always when the going get tough, the tough get going. Now is when the going get
Right.
tough. Oh, just back off and take it easy. No, I teach him if it gets tough, that means you're supposed to get tougher. And if you got to tear that shit out the frame. That's what you got to do. That's what I remember coming up as a Gen Xer. That's what they taught us. So that's what I don't teach them these new ways. It's up to us. It's up to you to try to be the biggest voice in your child's head. To this day, if I do something that seems sideways, I hear my father and my mother. I hear their voice in my head saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't go that way." It's up to you to put that thing inside your child. It don't always work, but it's still. I believe that somewhere, if you're in there, they'll come back around and they'll hear that, even if it takes a long time. It may be after they made the mistake. It
Facts.
may be something that they can't ever repair, but at some point, it'll come around. And that's why I think it's up to us to be that voice with your children and teach them what it is that you think is right or wrong, right, wrong, or indifferent. This is what you think it is. This is what you put in them. Teach your child how to be a leader, because nowadays that's not what they want to teach children to do. They want you to just follow, just go along and get along, and follow. And you can't do things by yourself. You need to no. Sometimes you need to teach your child. Sometimes you need to be an island. You need to be able to stand by yourself.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Do what it is that you think is right and go out there and make a decision. Be a critical thinker, not this herd mentality thing. I just got to do what everybody else does. The people that do that, they don't usually do well. It's the guys who don't, who do their own thing. Those are the guys that usually become successful. And that's true in life. That's just
Yeah.
it is what it is.
We as parents need to let our kids fall sometimes too.
That's
They need
right.
to get hurt. They need to remember that pain,
That's
or
right.
they're not going to be themselves. So we can't, we can't be overly protective, which I have a hard time doing. I really do. I'm doing all this stuff from scratch, being a parent. And I've done a good job. I ain't even gonna say I hope I am. I'm doing a good job. I got a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I got no kind of guidance behind me other than
The one thing that I always
gangbangers and dope dealers. But
one thing I always tell my son is that you'll never actually know the thrill of victory until you know the agony of defeat. And I believe that.
yeah,
I believe that
yes.
wholeheartedly. You never really know what a win is until you have a loss. I believe that. So there's nothing wrong with failing. The only thing wrong with it is if you fail and you don't get up and try it again. That's the only thing that's wrong with it. You fail inside every failure, there's a lesson. And as long as you can get that lesson from it and move forward, you'll be all right.
No, this is great. Taking away the kids' imagination as well. Yeah, this is where at that age, this is where all your up and coming inventors, doctors, even people that's going to make society move on to a better stage in the world. They're dumbing all of that down.
Nothing is innocent no more. They like taking the innocence away.
All of they doing it for a reason too. I mean, because they already have their future scoped out. Them, the elite, the ones that we can, and that's why I firmly believe, and I'll go ahead and answer my question if y'all don't mind, but I firmly believe in a brave new world, or George Orwell's 1984. These men spoke of this stuff 100 years ago. You know what I mean, and down to a T. Teleprompters in all our houses. They're gonna mentally. The scientists, the whatever you want to call them, they've weaponized. They've weaponized psychology in a sense to where, I mean, we're consumers, but they're mentally injecting it into our minds through these devices. And these guys, from the 30s, 40s, they told us about these devices. They didn't say it in, detail. They were the black mirrors and stuff like that, but they said that, the system will they will force feed you your thoughts on what you're doing. And that's why they need to dumb us down. They really don't care about us. It's up to us to protect our children because that is their goal. My child's 10 years old. He doesn't know a world without any kind of technology.
Same
and
here.
that takes away self-sufficiency. You know what I mean? Now, me as a parent, he's got, screen time, and I do what I need to do as a dad, but and that'd be the perfect way for them to control what religion my child has,
Right.
what my child's reality is. It takes every aspect of me being a parent away from him, and they control what he does. You know what I mean? They control all of it if we let them control us. I believe AI and the devices are the weapon that's against us, and that's why we ain't rose up together yet. That's why we're staying divided. They've used race, they've used religion, they've used everything, and now they're using the devices to keep us completely divided.
The thing, though, you have to do, I've worked in IT. I work in IT. I worked in healthcare for a number of years. I worked in several different areas. When we say we can't use these devices, we shouldn't participate, that is to our detriment because they are there. We need more people. We need spooks who sat behind the door to get in there and know how this AI works, know how data mining works, be able to apply these things, have science, engineering, and technology along with other aspects in our community, survival, this, that, and the other, because we need people who are going to be able to maybe weaponize some of those things, maybe sometimes at least defend against some of those things. I have a 31-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 16-year-old. But along with science and technology, I always make sure they are all involved in the analog. You got to be able to go out. When my son asked me something, I was like, okay, get a book, look it up, do this, do that. I don't give him the answers. And you spoke on that. We have to stop coddling our kids. We have to stop, we can get them out there, let them bust up their knees, bust their butt a little bit. And I learned that from my father. Whenever I ask him a question, look it up, read a book, do this, do that, discuss it with them, follow up with them. Well, what did you learn? What did you do? So we have to be actively involved. And so many of us are so involved in our each and every day, just trying to survive. And some of us have situations where it's hard to do that. But we have to be actively involved with our kids, with our lives, with our environment, with our communities. So it starts from us and goes outwards. We can't expect this system, because the system's not going to be there. They want us in psychological mental slavery. They want to be able to control us with a key word. One of the things I hate is people throw out, these tag terms, liberal. I can feeling. Oh, I got that. It's reactive. It's not. You're not even thinking what that even means. What does that mean? Ask, what the hell does that mean? I always ask.
That's gangbang mentality.
Exactly. You wearing red, you wearing blue. Let's go. Boom.
Exactly.
So we have to be critical thinkers on every aspect. Yes. Take control of ourselves. That's the biggest thing. I gotta control me. I gotta control BP before I can, and then reach out, to my family, friends, and that nature to, control and help that environment get better. So, but starting with ourselves and reaching out is key. And we have to realize where we are, accept where we are, and then say, okay, am I going to do something about it? Am I going to be, the zombie walking around there mindless, just doing whatever people tell me? It's your choice. At that point, you have a choice. Everybody gets confronted at some point. If that's what you want to do, fine. I'm going to go the road where I'm actively thinking, involved, and that empowers me. That's where I want to be. But everybody doesn't want to be there.
That's how like I'm reading a lot. Like I saw Reddy Reg made a comment. He said that our children are their children and we just feed and clothe them. And I see that the children are the target. It's funny because me and my wife are so involved in my son's schooling. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's to the point to where I know most of them don't like us because they're not used to that. They're used to people just sitting back and just letting them do whatever. I don't care what it is. If I see one little small thing, and I may be hypersensitive. Yeah. I'm on the phone. I'm going up to the school. Usually my wife goes first. If I got to get involved, and that means things have really gotten bad. But so I'll let she does the talking. So when I go, and that's the thing, they want to be in control of your children. I do believe that, because when you have parents who say, listen, they just with you, they belong to me, and I make sure I let them know that he belonged to me. Right. You just take care of him for a while and teach him stuff, and I teach him more than you do. And when those parents that are involved like that, they don't like you. They do want to control the mind of your children. I do believe that. And that's why when you have a parent who comes on strong, who's like, nah, these people belong to me. You just some sort of caretaker, and you answer to me. They don't like that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They
You
do.
have some teachers too that speak to parents in a manner where they think they talking to the kids, and I didn't care for that.
No.
When my daughter was in school, her principal, because I didn't inoculate my children after she's the oldest, so after she turned 2, none of them got any inoculations after that. So, when she was new, I think she was a new principal to the school. And when she found out, she thought that she could tell the bus driver not to pick my daughter up. I said, lady, you must have lost your complete mind. Who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
And when I sat and I wrote this long letter, she had to call a meeting and apologize to me. So some of the teachers and stuff, they think because they educated that they have something over you, and some of them talk to you in a downward manner, like
them degrees don't mean a damn thing, and I tell you that. I don't care nothing about your degree. I don't mean nothing. I had to bring that child into this world. I know how hard it was to get him here, and I'm the one that got to deal with him. So I don't want to hear nothing. You can take them degrees and set that shit on fire, wipe your head.
I heard and learned this lesson from a person who graduated from Harvard Medical School. When I was a med tech in the Air Force, he would come to me for advice, asking, how do you do this? How do you do that? What do you? And I'm like, wait, you're a doctor. You went to Harvard, graduated Harvard Medical. Why are you? He said, yes, but when you get into medical school, that doesn't mean anything. They want to get you through that program regardless because they want their numbers to look good. He said, you know what you call a doctor who graduates with a 1.9 GPA from Harvard? Doctor. It doesn't have his GPA on his degree. It doesn't have this, you graduate. That doesn't mean he's intelligent, smart, this, that, and the other. So I think a lot of time we give credence to those degrees. And I love education, but we can't, think that that's.
I've heard a doctor say doctors are stupid.
A lot of them are crazy. That's why when you go, again, survival, we talk about survival. I always tell people, when you go to a medical facility, take somebody with you to be an advocate for you. Have them sit in the room. And even if they're not writing anything, a piece of paper, have a pencil and paper. Every time somebody comes in the room, write on the paper. Act like you're keeping notes, this, that, and the other. You will get an increased quality of healthcare by 10, 20, 30, 40% because people think you're watching you and you're being an advocate. So you have to realize that those systems aren't set up to give quality care. They're there for profit motives primarily.
Yeah, I had a situation when I was in the hospital one time for probably about 3 weeks. And there was a really good nurse who taught my wife how to take care of something while they weren't there. This other nurse comes in, and because she proceeds to tell my wife that she's an RN and she's all of this, and my wife wasn't having that. My wife is a very intelligent, educated woman. And they just she just went off on her. And it was the fact that I had an advocate there. If that woman had kept doing what she was doing it wrong. She would have ended up hurting me.
Exactly. And it happens every day. I've seen people die because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if my wife wasn't there to check her, it would have been a problem for me because the woman was doing it all wrong. When we were taught what to do, the woman who was the wound care specialist taught my wife what needed to be done. This is what needs to happen. So the other woman didn't like it because I'm an RN. And I don't give a damn if you're an RN.
That's
good. Hurt my people. That's how that works.
And there are good people in healthcare. I want to because I know people who are excellent physicians, excellent nurses, excellent CNAs, excellent therapists, but you have to be your own self-advocate, just like in survival. You have to be an advocate for yourself. You're your own first line of defense. It applies to everything. You have to take, ownership of that. Learn what's going on. Learn what's doing that. Just like with prepping, just like with gardening, you have to take some ownership of that. Get the information and then apply it to what works best for you. Because we're not all monoliths. Everybody has different needs in that. So apply that to everything, and we'll be a lot better off. That's why I love this community because everybody's so willing to learn and share, and go talk about experiences. What worked for you? How does this work? So this is something that's great. We need to apply it more often.
We sure do. Everybody that's coming in, I'm sorry if I didn't get to say hi. How you doing? Hi, Warren. Welcome, Martin.
That was a good question that you asked because I always wonder what what really are we prepping for? What do we think is gonna happen? Like far as the
I don't
current
even know.
situation that's going on. Me too. I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that whatever it is, I want to be prepared for it. I don't know what it is. I just know whatever it is, I want to be prepared. That's how I look at it.
But we can all see it though, huh? We can all feel it and see
One of the
it.
scariest things for me, growing up in Southern California, I see that the probability of a major earthquake in that area is we know what's going to happen. So just think about when all those areas, I live there, you see economically how that impacts our whole nation and the world. So just think about all that stuff, damaged, destroyed, all those 10, 14 million people in a small area with no natural water source, with no natural food sources, isolated, destroyed. And think about that impact globally and how that's going to affect us on so I see something like that, or even regionally, like what happened in Texas when the power went out because of the freeze. And people were without power and water. I saw directly people who died because of that. So I don't think it's going to be any one thing, but it's going to be a number of insults that happen. We see what's going on in Ukraine. There are a lot of things going over in Africa, the possibilities of things in China, possible natural disasters all over the planet. I think it's going to be a combination of things. And because we've become so dependent on having things easily delivered to us, at our fingertips, that have weakened us and put us in a state to where minor insult just leads to a boom, total collapse. So I think it's like a combination of things. But like you said, we see the inevitability of this happening. I had a professor who was extremely smart back when I'm old, so this was decades ago, who talked about it, said, the United States is in a very precarious position because we've gotten used to having all this stuff at our beck and call, and a lot of people are having to sacrifice and go without so that we could have all these niceties. But at some point, that's going to come to an end. We're going to have to go take it, buy a gun, or do without. And we're getting to that point to where, we're having difficulties doing that. So now the hard decisions comes. Do we adjust our lifestyles, which I think would benefit us, like go back, like Carbon said, great reset. That's ideal because people become self-dependent. Or are we going to just become the global police and just go and jack everybody for their stuff?
That's what they've been doing. That's what our government been doing.
I think we're kind of going through a reset now. I think what's happened over the past 2.5 years. We're going through a reset. That's why you see people. The first thing they say about people not wanting to go to work is, they're lazy. They just don't want to work. No, it's that I want to work, but I just don't want to work like a slave, and you're not paying me anything. So I can't live.
That's why UBI is going to be so easily put into our society.
And that's why we see a reset now when it comes to that. People are waking up and understanding, especially here where we are, that there's other ways to make money. I don't have to work for this person. I don't have to be slaving. How good it is to be able to be home with your children. Like I can get my son off the bus every day. I ain't got to be running home to do whatever. The school calls.
It's a good feeling, man.
Yeah, things like that, right? You start to feel those real tangible things. Because for me, work is just a necessary evil. Right. That's how I look at it. It's a necessary evil because I need to be able to eat and buy stuff and do things like that. The fact that I get to be able to be home, if the school calls, I can leave and just run and go. You start that whole working from home thing. For me, I always liked it anyway, but it became even more important the older that my son got, because I can move and do things in terms of being able to move. And people have discovered that. They've discovered their families again, their loved ones, because you're not in a place all 8 hours all day. You may be 8 hours in your house doing your work or whatever, but you got people coming in and out. You can make phone calls. You can take care of your business, all type of things. There is a great reset going on. That's why I think that what's going on with unemployment, because people don't want to work for people because they see what a joy it is to be with your family and be with your loved ones and not be listening to some guy who could give a damn about you or some corporation. Well, he was a nice guy, but if I drop dead in the next 10 seconds, he was a nice guy. Let's find somebody to fill his place and pay him.
Exactly. When your body gets cold, they got your seat filled.
Exactly.
And then the jobs that they were claiming that people are not fulfilling is fast food. I said, who wants to work in the fast food restaurant? Making minimum wage. Are y'all serious right now? Who can live off of that?
Right. You can't live off of $8 an hour. You can't.
Not even. Come on, man.
So it's up to us. So do we want to let them reset us, or we want to reset it ourselves?
What's happening is
what's happening now. Why would we want them to do anything else?
The people are the ones
who then why?
That's what's happening now. It's the people who are doing the reset. It ain't the
The
government.
paradigm changing.
That's why they're crying about
Definitely.
people won't go to work. Look at our economy. People are looking at that stuff going,
F your economy.
right, fuck your economy. I'm worried about the economy within my community, my neighborhood, what's going on inside my house. Because what people are learning is that part of economics is your mental well-being. People didn't really think about that. It takes more place now. Because the fact that if I'm making X amount of money, but I'm home and I can do certain things, even if I don't think I'm making enough, that's when your perks and fringe benefits come in. Because I can move and do things a certain way. And that's those mindsets and things are changing. That whole making people stay home thing was a bad idea. It wasn't a good idea.
But hold on, because it was a good idea for them, because now it's going to be that much easier for them to enact the UBI for all of us. They already got pilot programs in 12 states.
When I say it was a bad idea for them, I say it was a bad idea because it caused people to wake up and realize what was really important. That's why it was a bad idea.
I hope so. I hope so, man. I hope so. You got faith in people. I don't.
When I listen to people and I see what they're doing and how they're moving and how they're being demonized, this is how revolutions start. Because people wake up and say, "Hey, I don't have to deal with that. I can do this. Forget your economy. I can create a micro economy and live well." And live outside of your economy. How you think drug dealing started and bootlegging and things like that? That's how that stuff gets started. And just now, with so much information and the way technology moves, you can make all types of funds and money and do things that you want to do and not be beholden to anybody. And that's what people are starting to understand. It ain't because people just ain't lazy, they just don't want to work. They just don't want to work for the damn system. You get tired of it. That's what ends up happening. They break away. I look at it from a different standpoint. Because men inherently want to be free. And when I say free, they want to be free from people telling them what to do, free to be able to move, free to be able to eat what you want, buy what you want, do the things that you love to do. True freedom is being able to do what you want to do whenever you want to do it and those things that you love, not because people force you to do it. That's the way that I look at it. That's true freedom.
Thank you, Carvin Q.
You're welcome. I'm just trying to drop links so you guys go ahead.
I agree. I think.
I'm sorry.
No, please, ladies first.
I've heard some. Well, I listened to like two people that have gone through like in their countries where financial collapse, and I noticed one of the things that they said, and one is in Venezuela, and I forgot where the other guy was from, was people like telling on other people.
That's crazy.
And I think that this past 2 years has really built that up, and some people worrying about what other people are doing with their own health. And I could see that situation they're talking about with people, worrying about what other people are doing when we're in a crisis and stuff. It's like, take care of yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing for the whole thing about freedoms. I live in a free country. I'm this. I live in that. The fact there's two sides to that, because the fact that I have to respect what it is that you're doing, but you also have to respect what it is that I'm doing.
Right.
That's why I looked at that whole thing of this person talking about, well, I don't want to take this shot. That's fine. If you don't want to take it, that's on you. I agree with you if that's what you want to do, because this is a free country. But if I choose to, I need you to shut the fuck up and let me do what I'm gonna do, because freedom works both ways. We don't gotta agree, but I'm free to do and you free not to do. And that's where the whole problem came in, the demonization of each other. We should be able to be free and make decisions that are different, but we're still free. That's why we can make those different decisions. And the problem is that you have everybody wanting everybody to do what it is they want you to do. Let me be free to do what I'm going to do.
That's what the problem is.
Right. That's the issue. Let me do what I'm going to do.
There you go.
Well, also the fear that they instilled into us. So it was almost a perfect storm for us as a society, because it's like, I agree with you, and I'm anti getting anything in my body just because I don't want the shit. I don't care. There ain't no other reason. I don't want it. My kids don't need it neither. We're fine. We've had it 3 times. We're good. We're fighting this shit off now. Our body's acclimated to it. But what they've also put into place is the media, and again, these devices they've been able to pump into us. The fact that if you don't go get it, we're gonna tell you that you can still spread it. You're contagious, even if you get it, right? Even if you get the shot, but your neighbor has to get it, or it's gonna make it worse. So they put the fear factor in there as well. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not even about your freedom of getting it or not getting it, because now I see you as a threat because you're not gonna get it. You're gonna hurt my kids, even though my kids got the shot. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make no. We're so. It's all chaos. It makes absolutely no sense. But it's by design.
It's your mind. It's your mindset. Because my thing is, listen, if you want to take a chance, take a chance. For me, it's an educated decision for me. So if I think that I've done X amount of research, I think I believe this, I think this is okay, I'm gonna do it. If you think that is bad for you, I'm fine with you doing that, and I ain't gonna demonize you for it. That's where the problem comes in. If that's what you want to do it, because I want you to be just as free as I am to do what I'm going to do. But the problem is, it's the demonization. We demonize each other when we shouldn't. It should just be, listen, you make that decision, and then if something happens to you or something happens to me, still be willing to help me. And I'm willing to help you. That's how it has to be. It has to be a true free society. Means that I get to do what I think is best for me, you get to do what's best for you, and then we don't fight about it. We understand it because we both just want to be free. And that's when the problem comes in.
Yeah, when have we ever chose any other medical decisions for anybody? Never.
True.
So why are we doing it now?
That's the question right there, Bougie. Why are we doing it now? You know what I mean? Like, why is the weather going so crazy right now? Why is this going so? Why is we losing $1? Why are we? And I think that's how we all know. We all got that sense of feeling like something. We're collapsing right now.
Yeah, like, the energy is different, man. It's just
everything is so important. Funny, you know what I mean?
Something is weird, and you can tell something is weird. Yeah, that's a truth. They high T cell immunity. That's right. That's something else. If you look into this stuff, this like that. Your long term immunity comes from stuff that's memorized in your T cells. They don't talk about that stuff. Yeah, I've been reading about this. I'm being a defensive shooter. This is how I looked at it when all this started. You tell me, hey, there's something that popped up, and there's nothing that I can do to fight against it. You tell me that. So the first thing I think of is, if there's a guy somewhere who I think is going to come after me, if I got to put some hot ones in him, I can defend myself. So the best thing for me to do is I immerse myself in learning how viruses work, how your T cells work, how your all these different your immune system, what it does. And I tried to learn how that worked and what I could do to maybe fight. And that's what ended up happening. You learn these different things about your T cells and stuff like that. But you have to take the time to go learn that stuff. But I would never demonize somebody who says, "Nah, I don't want to do it." You don't want to do it. That's on you. Exactly. You free, just like I'm free. And so I got to treat you that way.
That's crazy. Divide and conquer. You're right, Joe.
Yeah, it's that, and that's what it is. It's trying to create two separate societies. I don't like that. I don't agree with that, because I believe that you shouldn't.
What she just put up about the mammoth?
You saw that?
Yeah,
they won't let it get them.
I was just reading that too.
I couldn't believe I had to.
It was still a little
Wow.
bit.
So they're going to threaten your overall long-term health based on.
What would be a vaccine that would affect the mammogram? Right.
I don't know.
Did you did you ask them, like, which one? Which one are they talking about?
I think they talked about that with like MRIs and stuff as well.
Wow.
Something to do with the metals or something like that that's in the, I don't know. I don't talk much about that.
Inflammatory response. Maybe if there's an inflammatory response on the lymph node or something like that caused by the vaccine, but because I know there are some instances of that, but that's interesting.
Well, there's a lot of people and a lot of, I would say, proof, I guess. I don't know. Again, I don't look into this stuff, but that there's actually, there's metals within the actual, the I can't say the word, but the GRAPHENE. You say that word, you can probably get the stream shut down, but and there's a lot. There's a lot of. I guess there's a lot of proof. Again, I don't think the system gave us the shot because of the ingredients. I think they gave it to us to see who the hell is going to bend over and do what they're told and who's not. So I really don't believe in but more and more it seems to make sense because I know a few people that couldn't get MRIs because they had the shot before that 4 weeks was up. It's like a 4-week thing. I don't know what it is. I won't die on that mountain though. I won't even fight on that. I'm like you, fat guy, man. That's on you. You want to do it? Go ahead. That's on you.
Do what's best for your family or what you think.
Exactly.
About your family. That's what you do, and I'm gonna respect that whether you do or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna respect it.
That's the mountain I'm dying on is food. They're trying to take our food, y'all. We need to make sure we get food, and it's not that expensive, everybody. You know, a couple bags of rice and beans every time you go shopping. That's not a lot. You know, it's
like
not.
I like to say, fat guy with guns gonna eat. I don't do nothing else. I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna shoot, and that's what's gonna happen. So.
Yeah. And we're preaching to the choir in this community, I think, a lot of times. But every time I go to the freaking store, it pisses me off because people are getting Hostess ding dongs and they're getting all this other crap. And the rice and bean aisles are full every time I go in there. Every time.
They full till I get there.
Me too, Zach. I get my
exactly. Me too. I get the limit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It was great.
Did they cut it off at 2 hours? Because I hear a lot of people say that.
No, you could keep
no, they don't. No, you can go 24 hours if you want.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else is hopping on, or I don't want to block anybody else's show going on. Not that I would, but
Man, fuck everybody else. We having a good sorry. We having a good time, right?
Wow. I know everybody has something to bring to the table, so I didn't want to hog the whole
what do you guys solar setup? Do y'all have solar set up? What do y'all guys do?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yeah,
well,
nothing big.
Nothing big, no. Let me
whip out my devices. But I'm working on that.
Right.
I'm getting some land. I'm looking at getting some land and setting that up. So that's
you got Jackery.
I mean, it's the ghetto Jackery. Yeah. it's the generic, but it works. Right. Yeah, and I got two solar inverters that that'll carry or that I can charge up, whether it's through solar, through my car battery, through and that's mainly for my freezers and stuff though. I already told the family. It's like, that's a big thing people don't understand is
that's what I got mine for, the freezer and the refrigerator.
Yeah. And then this is also what I'm doing. We actually canning tonight.
What you canning tonight, man?
We canning some chili. My wife made some bomb chili last night. There you go. She doubled up the recipe.
Y'all got it. Yeah, I need a recipe. I don't have no chili.
Thinking about recipes, Zach, because I love the chili. I gotta do some chicken tomorrow. So I love that canning, man. I just got into that. I'm addicted.
Yes.
I don't
and that's how you know. That's how you know what's in your food. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And for me, with the beans, like let's say I'm gonna make up the number. I'm sure it's probably more, but let's say I got like 200 pounds of beans, right? You gotta make sure you got enough water for those beans once the grid goes down. So I told my wife, I was like, man, we need to start canning beans before anything because we don't need to worry. We don't want to worry about the water afterward. I mean, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so we got water everywhere. But same time,
That's a good
and this right here, everybody should do. Even if you ain't got a canner, you should do this right here.
Wait, let me get it on the big screen. Hold it. I hope I did it right.
Right.
Wait, let me do it this way.
Is that butter?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is called ghee.
I was gonna say
ghee. Okay.
Yeah, ghee been around forever, and this right here could sit on my shelf forever too.
So what is it? What do you use it for?
It's extremely important.
So
ghee. Yeah. So what ghee is, for anybody that doesn't know, is basically you take real butter. You dump it in a pan and you boil it until the steam stops coming off of it, and then you take the liquids out of it. And after you take all the liquids out of it, you put all the liquids in the jar. It's self-canning too. So as soon as, because the ghee is so hot, it actually seals up the lid itself with the heat of the oil. And what's left in the pan you can actually use as well. But what's left in the pan is all the Yeah, there you go, be charming.
It's clarified butter. All right.
Yeah.
Take all the
and the shelf life on it is pretty much like honey.
Yeah, it's like honey, right? Lasts forever.
You buying that
my girl.
dehydrated stuff, so I need to start doing some of that.
It's good.
That's my girl, chicken noodle soup.
BP, it's good to have a mix.
Okay, I'd never heard that term before, so I learned something new.
Yeah, you can make your own. Ghee toast costs a ton if you buy it in the store.
Really?
You can make your own.
Right.
People.
And even if you don't drink, y'all get you some Everclear. I'm just saying, this works for everything.
Medicinal.
Everything.
Gallons of that 190. I had to drive to Indiana to get it.
There you go. Everything. And Miss Barbecue, you already got them, right? The seeds.
Yes, I do.
All right, they come out good too.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. We grew some good stuff last year until they microwaved us. They microwaved us, y'all. I'm telling you. It went up to 119 degrees where I live. They melted fruit off the trees.
Wow.
Did you hear that Texas is supposed to have wildfires?
Yeah, the wildfires have been bad down here.
Yeah.
They had a big wildfire when I just came back from Tennessee. They had one up there. And when I left, it was only like 4% contained. I forget how many acres were burning.
And we haven't had a lot of rain either, so that's just exacerbates the fact. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm still on big screen. Look, fellas, if you're a big high-tech prepper, don't forget your ladies. All I'm going to say is don't forget your ladies. My girls got about a year's work. Both of my girls. They good. That's because of me. Just saying. Be responsible for your women, man.
As the father of 3 girls, yep, I know.
you know, get in that mindset, but sorry, Carmen.
No, it's okay. Is your seeds the candy is it open?
Oh yeah. Oh, you haven't opened yours. Huh? You curious?
Can you just show them what's inside?
Yeah, let me see.
There's a lot of seeds that come inside there and they're pre-packaged, but it's really
you guys should get a seed vault. You can get a seed vault and you can take your seeds and put them in the freezer. They'll last longer.
Yeah, they'll last longer, but these ones right here, got a 4-year shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
And everything Augustin Farms, and I always got to put this out because I'm usually talking to folks in the ghetto, but Augustin Farms and Mountain House Valley, they take EBT. So there ain't no excuse for your ass to not get it.
On Amazon. Yeah, you can get
it.
Yep,
on Amazon and Walmart.com or at the stores.
Oh, they take EBT. Good to know.
You could buy seeds also, any kind of seeds on Amazon.
Seeds and plants.
You could get plants. You could get, most of it is herbs. You could buy herbs with the I got an arrow garden with the EBT.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you?
I like that. Just corn.
Yeah. This right here, corn. There's this is what they have on it, or this is what they have in it. And then I don't know where the guide is, but they also give you a complete growing guide, and all these are vacuum sealed up with the Mylar, so they got good shelf life. And you know, you can, like you said, you can put them in the freezer or the refrigerator, stuff like that. And really, it only takes. And let me show you one more thing, since I'm already in all this stuff. It's not that expensive to be prepared, guys. Like, now. Some people may say blah 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 to me, but at the same time, it's my food. But
you get that,
it takes you.
Babe.
Look, it takes you a roll of plastic and a vacuum sealer, which together is maybe $40.
That's how I do my meat for long-term storage in the freezer. When I don't can it, I do a vacuum sealer like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't need the. Yeah, and I've had this stuff for years, guys, and the stuff's still good. You don't need the Mylar bags with the buckets and all the other gimmicks. I mean, for, I imagine for, 40, 50 years maybe, but shit, this stuff happening to us right now. What the hell we want to waste money on Mylar and all that for?
My rice and beans is in a bucket without the Mylar bag with just some bay leaves.
That's right, bay leaves. Yeah. Keep the critters away.
Who that be?
These are fire, y'all. These are fire. I'm just saying their fruit is fire.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amazon.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. What's that?
Who that babe just wanted to know where you got the seeds from. I do believe Amazon, right?
Well, yeah. That's where I got my seeds. But see, like this, and do it now. I mean, there is no waiting because this right here, they want $180 for it now. I bought this bad boy for $70,
Yep.
which is
Wow.
a good deal. It's got a lot in it, but
Super
now it's
expensive.
like 180
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
because
Independent.
I got the So we got the rotating pantry, you know what I mean, the stuff that we use all the time, and then we got the middle time, not middle time. I'm forgetting the word right now, but sort of long storage food, and then we got the freeze dry
Oh,
stuff to
you got
where it's like,
the working pantry.
Yeah,
yeah,
working
exactly.
pantry. Yeah.
Got the working pantry, and then we have the stuff put back to, you know, like, okay, this is what happens when we got to really have the long haul.
Yep.
And people don't whine about space neither. I'm telling you, I got a king size bed, man, and I'm the whole
Well,
under the bed
I'm in the
filled
apartment,
up.
so nobody don't have no excuse.
I got a closet full of Ready Wise. I got like 12 of them big 25-year things. I'm telling you, I'm gonna eat. I ain't going hungry.
All right, but here's the question though, man. Have you opened up one of them and ate it?
Oh yes,
I do all the time.
All right, because you got
ones to eat them. Make sure find out what give you the runs. Find out if it's too salty. All type of stuff.
yeah. There you go.
My MREs, I got a bunch of those too. I had to make sure I open up a few of those to see how you use the heat element and how they taste. If I'm really gonna like them, things like that. Yeah, try all this stuff.
That's what's up. You can take me off big screen now, Carmen. Unless you want me to take over the show, I can start dancing and stuff. Oh, okay.
So silly.
That's good.
But with the seeds, it comes with like a seed guide and growing, and it comes with a lot.
Nice.
And they came out real good. Our seeds are already popping right now.
And
my girls got them.
People think that is hard, man. Go get you some dirt. Get you some sort of like little something to feed the seed. Put some water on it and just watch it grow. And you see how easy it is. Because you think it's hard until you do it. It's easy. Really, you get you some dirt and some seeds and some water and some sun and something to feed it, and stuff starts growing. It's just that easy, really, when you think about it.
I mean, you don't need a lot of space either, because I'm in an apartment, and I just got into a mammoth sunflower contest, and I have it sitting right here in my living room.
I do everything in 5-gallon buckets because I don't have land like that. I made me some stands to put these 5-gallon buckets in. I do everything in 5-gallon bucket. You can grow anything in a 5-gallon bucket. Some stuff you can't because they got like a real long tap root. But other than that, like regular stuff, you can anything in a 5-gallon bucket. I've done it. It works well. You can grow lemons and oranges and stuff in your house too, even in Ohio. I know because I'm doing it now. So you can do just about as long as you willing to take the time and learn a little bit, you can make it happen. Yeah. I learned all that stuff from Lead Farmer and Homestead Heart.
That's exactly. I just got in my fingers in the dirt, and just like those two sites you mentioned helped me a ton. And when I got a book,
Lead Farmer is cool.
Yeah, information's out there, man. A lot of people are giving some jewels out there, some gems. So take advantage of it.
I'm just looking for a link, guys.
Did y'all have like a lot of learning curves? I started prepping. There's a lot of stuff that I had to learn, and especially that's why I asked about the solar. Oh my goodness. When I first started listening to that was mind-boggling. Yeah. But I had bought a system not thinking I knew what I thought I knew. But then when I got it, it was the Jackery 500. Not realizing, not understanding everything. Because when you watch so many videos and then you think you understand what it's all about, but then you get it and realize it is not what you know. I cannot run a refrigerator on this.
Yeah, and
that's 500 anyway.
This is a learning curve.
Like all the little stuff that they should have said they missed to tell you. So
the important things, yeah.
Yeah, so I wound up having to get another system and then do a test run to see if I could actually run. And then they forget the part where I try to tell people about is the surge. A lot of people don't know that their appliances have surges. So even when you get the battery, can that battery handle the surge? Yeah, it's 1500 watts, but what is your surge and what you're using?
Yeah,
And what is that battery surge?
learned all that stuff watching Lead Farm.
Yeah, that's why I love it, because so many people like yourself and Lead Farmer, and they just have that information, and I'm going into it. All I gotta do is buy gear. So, no, it's not that simple.
You gotta educate yourself.
Before I ran into Lead Farm, I went through all of that, learning how to figure out what kind of battery I needed to run the refrigerator and the freezer. And it was a lot to learn. And then just knowing of the basics of stuff, and not really, I don't need to know how the battery was made. I just need to know how to run this puppy when I need to do it. That's it.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
And how loud they are, and how much they consume, because we got to make sure we're stealth with all our power. I mean, if you're the only house on the block and you just all lit up, everybody's going to be like moths. They come into your house.
Exactly.
That's why I like
it's funny, like when people say that you're going to be lit up. These things cannot, like, how you going to be lit up? I mean, like, my thing is, everybody going to have light. Like, everybody got a flashlight. Ain't nobody gonna be bumping around in the dark.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna have light.
They got the big blue Eddie that you can hook your whole house up to.
Really?
Yeah,
they do. Oh, yeah,
they do. Yeah, they got plenty of good stuff.
But if you think about that, why would you do that? How are you gonna charge that battery back?
The solar with the sun.
Either solar, you could do it with your car. There's plenty of ways you can do it with an Well, that's why it's also good to learn about alternators and bicycles. I mean, you could take an alternator and a bicycle, and you can have forever energy when it comes to these inverters. Me myself, I don't care about the creature comforts of everything my house has to offer. If we're in that type of situation, I want to make sure my food, I got something to keep my food cold and to keep my butt cold when it's real hot outside. That's pretty much
and then you don't got to run your freezer all the time, because you can let your freezer turn it off and it'll keep cold for X amount of hours or whatever. Then you can
and I also have it's also good to have I take some of those vacuum seal bags, I fill them up with water, and I line the bottom of my freezers with them as well.
That's thermally
loading
your refrigerator is
ice
key.
bags on the bottom of mine.
You thermally load
exactly.
it, so it maintains that temperature when you're opening and closing, not letting all the cold air out and the warm air in there. So there's a lot of things, like you said, you can do to help with that. So, but you learn what refrigerators. So spend good money. Don't go out and buy a refrigerator that is lower rated. So again, you have to do your homework, do your research. And don't spend, money that you'll have to go back. What do they say? Buy once, cry once. So maybe buy a refrigerator that's a little bit higher standard that can maintain those refrigerators. And then, but again, it's great because there's so much, again, information that you can get out there and research. So that's
I look for the people's mistakes, like Lead Farmer and all them other. It's like I want to learn from their mistakes, so I ain't got to make the same mistakes, and that's the most important part. Like, I don't want to have to buy this and then buy another attachment. It just no.
Yeah, all you with the generators, all like well, what I found when I got what was that I got? I forget the other one that I had gotten. What is it called? I forget what it's called. But when I hooked it up, what I noticed with the refrigerator, as far as the surge, my surge was like about 900 on the refrigerator when it clicked on. And it stayed on for maybe about 20 minutes or longer. The refrigerator would stay on, but it'll stay off for half an hour. And I noticed the freezer stayed off for about a whole hour. It didn't click back on. So those are good things to know too. That because my thing was with the one battery, I was wondering, like, would they both surge at the same time, and could the battery handle both surges when they both click, on and off? But they never because the refrigerator stay off so long, it never clicked back on with the freezer. So I actually have one battery. I could hook both of them up too.
Okay.
And then, have the other 2 batteries that I could use for whatever. But laptops, I don't know if everybody plugged the laptop into one of these. Laptops suck up a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot of energy. And I mean, we getting these things, but you when you get them, you don't realize how much energy these things use until you start to do stuff like this. You like, wow. Like when people say they running their whole house, I'm like, y'all know how much energy we pull?
Do a count of all your hardware devices. Most people underestimate them drastically. I had a friend at work ask me how many wireless computers, this, that, and the other that I have that are dependent upon power and the internet do I have in my house. And I lowballed it. And I think I said like 5 or 6. He goes, no, go back and count. I ended up with like 29 devices just in my small house that that are that. So if you think about, all your phones, all your, other devices, sometimes you have refrigerators that are hooked up and, wirelessly and using power as well. So a lot of times when you're doing those numbers, you have to really go in and plan out those numbers out accordingly, because like you said, you may be underestimating by a lot. So
I think we are, because even I say, you know what, if it's like, say the power is off, and I was thinking with the internet, you might have internet service, but because you don't have no power, you can't use the internet. So I said, well, maybe now that I, have the battery that could run both the refrigerator and freezer, maybe I could, plug the internet into one of them. But when I put the, that box you get and you plug something in, and it'll tell you how much wattage it used. 900 watts just for the what is those things? Your internet.
The modem.
Motor.
900 over 900 watts.
So that's gonna just draw that down. So and then
no running this. Okay.
Again, forethought, planning, download all those things, hard copies and local copies on your devices in advance, have all that stuff that you can download and save and use, whether it's entertainment for the kids, data that you need, you have to, it takes time to get all and download and put that and, organize all that stuff. But once the power goes out, it becomes extremely.
It's good time. It is. Because this right here, just a 10-inch tablet with a terabyte SD card, we're good on entertainment. If actually when the
same thing
exactly. So when the power went, and when the power went out for whatever reason, it went out last week. My family don't panic. Oh my God, because they're like, Dad, power went out. You know what I mean? I'm like, here you go. You want to watch a movie? I already have 500 gigabytes of movies. What we got all our favorite TV shows. Because I think a lot of people don't realize that entertainment is going to be a factor in the shit hits the fan or a grid down situation. It's not going to be we're just going to sit and watch TV all day, but we need our normal mentally. We need that normalcy.
Keeps that morale up. It keeps people's minds right. This and the other. Get an instrument. Learn how to play an instrument or something like that. Get something,
Yeah, I pick up coloring books. We big kids in here, so every time I go to Dollar Tree and a dollar store, I pick up coloring books and crayons.
There you go.
And if you got kids, we got Monopoly. I'm getting all the classic board games. I picked up some Street Chalk the other day. Somebody said, "What you gonna go do with that?" I said, "Go in the parking lot."
Go right in the street, right?
Make
a hopscotch and skelzies.
There you go. Don't get cards because you have to play spades. Zach gets kind of aggressive. So.
We got some Uno. What about DVDs? I'll be picking up some DVDs too.
I got a ton of DVDs.
Okay.
That's why I moved to this. I know how to get the stuff for free. So
format those.
I just get them for free. Skip buying the DVDs because just clutter. Like a lot of people still doing their DVDs. Nothing wrong with that because you want the physical, the physical copy or whatever. But if an EMP happens, the DVD is going to be useless just as much as this is. Just to be more compact. You know what I mean? an SD card and stuff like that is more convenient, at least for us. You know, I think like my first video, second video on my channel actually shows people how to get the stuff, how to download the movies and the TV shows and all that.
There you go.
If y'all are interested, just saying.
My stuff.
Absolutely. Let me see. People are saying some good stuff. Let me just get over here. Somebody said take it back to Hangman.
Hangman. Oh, I forgot about Hangman.
Right?
What about football with the little square, the little triangle? Remember?
You know what I was about the other day? With all this stuff going with the shipping thing, I was like, you remember you sank my battleship?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that game.
E9.
Like, battleship.
We got that one too. Sorry, Shoots and Ladders. All of them. Yeah, we got them all in the thing. We playing regularly, actually, every weekend. My kids.
I want to get a Simon. I used to love.
Oh yeah, we got the Bop It. We don't have a
I love
Simon.
that little Simon thing. He loved that little thing. Thank you. I'm gonna drop off, man. I gotta get ready to take a little nap for his birthday.
I gotta walk the little guy. He over here having a whole heart attack. I thank everybody so much. Panel.
Bougie and Ghetto, was good chatting with y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me up. I appreciate talking with y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate it, everybody.
When you going live, Ghetto?
When am I going live?
Are you going
No, I'm going over to Backwoods is hosting it tonight, but it's usually on Sophia B's, but we canon. So we canon here in about an hour.
Okay, drop both their links is both in the chat if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
Back within Sophia, but it's not gonna be on Sophia's link. On Sophia
No, it's usually Sophia B's canon. That's where we usually do the canon, but she's moving right now, so Backwoods is taking it over for just tonight. But either way, we talking about canon and doing canon over there tonight.
You know what time?
In about an hour. So it starts at 5:00 my time, so an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
When it starts.
Sounds good. Thanks everybody for coming through. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Stay prepping.
Yes. Peace, fam. Peace.
Stay ready, Tom. Stay ready.
All right, y'all. Take
All right,
care.
everybody.
Everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.